I'm Sean Malone. The chief of police says the pay parity rule with the fire department is hurting their recruiting efforts. I've got this story coming up.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
State inspectors take a look at school buses. How did districts in the St. Louis area do? I'm Michael Calhoun with the results.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. Another possible health benefit from those popular new weight loss drugs. The story is coming up.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today, warming up to 87.
Good day for the Cardinals yesterday. They get a win at home against the Rangers. Big weekend of sports coming up in St. Louis. We'll have a preview for you in 15 minutes. It's 6 o'clock in Mid-America.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. With the votes of 4 Republicans and all the Democrats, the House, for the first time since the war with Iran started, has passed a war powers resolution that calls for the end of fighting unless Congress approves. Indiana Republican Marlon Stutzman was one of the no votes, saying this interferes with the president's powers.
I don't believe that Congress needs to vote on the war because President Trump has it in the confines of the power that he already has.
The resolution would still need to be approved by the Senate. The ceasefire in the Middle East still fragile, and both Israel and Hezbollah trading attacks in Lebanon, that despite a new agreement between Israel and Lebanon to stop the fighting. The head of the World Health Organization says the response to the Ebola outbreak in Africa is now catching up. Hundreds of cases, however, are still confirmed. Amazon now topping the Fortune 500 list of companies by revenues. Walmart held the spot for the last 13 years. This is ABC News. A little worm is causing big worries among Texas cattle ranchers. ABC's Jim Ryans in Dallas.
The New World screwworm is actually a fly that lays eggs in open sores on livestock and pets and was largely eradicated in the U.S. years ago. But a northward progression from Central America was observed in 2023. And on Wednesday, says Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins,
the one that was found was actually in the umbilical cord
in a calf on a South Texas ranch, now in a 12-mile infested zone. The discovery is driving fears of even higher beef prices nationwide. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Thousands of New York Knicks fans turning all across New York into a giant watch party last night.
Better than watching a game by yourself at home. Like, this is a vibe. We're representing for New York.
She was outside Madison Square Garden and got to watch as the Knicks took game 1 of the NBA Finals on the road. Final score 105-95. Game 2 tomorrow night, again in San Antonio. Sherry Preston, ABC News. It is 6:02 right now. We've got cloudy skies downtown and 59 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Did the police commanders and civilian employees receive a raise at yesterday's board meeting?
The state-appointed board approved the raises for the civilian staff, but tabled the vote on command staff raises for 2 weeks at the urging of Mayor Kara Spencer. Her issue, the city was blindsided by the raises announced earlier this week and needs to amend their budget.
We made provisions for 7% for our lieutenants and above, recognizing that percentage, that increase did not apply to the leadership of the police department. Under no circumstance were we made aware in any way, shape, or form that we would be tripling that. Board
President Chris Saraceno says Chief of Police Robert Tracy is demanding excellence from his leaders, and they are delivering.
For that in itself, they earn their not only their rank, but their compensation.
Tracy says their command staff are severely underpaid, pointing to Kansas City, who pays tens of thousands of dollars more. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The issue is the law that mandates the police and fire department have pay parity. So if one department gets raises, the other department does as well. It's something that is frustrating. Chief of Police Robert Tracy, who says they are constantly asked to give concessions the fire department doesn't have to make.
The mayor has asked us to address the benefits program as far as how for retirees and how can we work that in. If we're being asked to look at those things, once again, another concession. Well, why not looking at concessions to break parity?
Tracy points to last year's raises, which the fire department also received without the reduction in budgeted strength the police department conceded. Tracy says he has the utmost respect for the fire department, but the parity issue is really hurting their ability to pay competitive wages.
And I love the firemen, and I want the best. And I'm like, hey, pay them as much as you can, but make sure you're not holding the police department back.
Asked about the pay parity rule, Mayor Spencer said her priority is the current budget, and that is not being considered.
A St. Charles man is sentenced to life in prison for 3 counts of murder. 41-year-old Daryl Tyson shot and killed his girlfriend 2 years ago, along with the twins she was carrying. In the probable cause statement, Tyson claimed it was self-defense, that he had woken up to a rifle in his face, so he pulled a gun out of his pocket and shot her in the abdomen.
There are questions as to why 2 teenagers, 17 and 14, were released to their parents after allegedly trying to break into cars.
The latest incident happened around 1 o'clock Wednesday morning, but this is not an isolated incident. In recent days, there's been a surge of car break-ins in more than one area of the city. Wednesday morning's incident was in Tower Grove South. Residents called 911. When police arrived, they found a group of suspects checking door handles, allegedly trying to break into cars. The teens then ran. Police say they were able to detain 17 and 14-year-old boys, and the older one had a gun. Officers contacted juvenile detention, but they declined to hold the teenagers and release them to their parents. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Several big St. Louis area school districts passed their latest highway patrol bus inspections with flying colors.
Major districts, including Afton, Kirkwood, Lindbergh, and St. Charles, had every single one of their buses pass with 0 marked defective or out of service. Parkway schools recorded a near perfect 98.1% approval rate on the 105 buses the troopers inspected. Parkway fleet manager Travis Warren tells KMOX.
We always strive to get the Fleet Excellence Award every year. It's kind of a badge of honor. And for however many years that we've been doing it, I mean, we've only not gotten it twice in over probably 30, 35 years. So it's always something we strive to get and maintain, just, you know, to show that our district is one of the best and safest fleets out there.
Meantime, more than 800 school buses across the state failed their inspections. Rittner had a 25% failure rate. Ladue had 20.8% fail. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Learn more coming up at 6:22.
Usually on the same side of things, the Missouri Association of Realtors is spending a lot of money hoping to defeat Governor Kehoe's top priority, eliminating the state income tax. The realtors so far have spent almost $2 million opposing Amendment 5, which voters statewide will get a crack at in August. According to Scott Charton with Missourians for Fair Taxation, the realtors call Amendment 5 the everything tax. That's because eliminating the state income tax would mean raising sales taxes on everything, including items and services that aren't taxed now. There's also concern that it could affect a constitutional ban in place now on taxing real estate transfers.
Airline tickets prices are rising because of fuel prices. Dave Simons of One Private Wealth tells the Chris and Amy show the price of a barrel of oil has gone down a bit, but that could change in a second.
We talk about how some individuals can move the market. Donald Trump right now is the king of that, even when it comes to the stock market, but in particular, the oil market, because all he has to do is tweet out something about, I just talked to the Iranian officials and we're close to making a deal. Oil then plummets. Yay!
And then nothing happens and the price shoots up again.
Are you getting ready to plan your summer vacation? Beware of scammers.
Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is advising travelers to keep an eye out for these common summer vacation scams, including false travel agents, booking sites, and rental listings. He says travelers should double check any of the services they book for vacation with reviews or the Better Business Bureau instead of immediately purchasing a service. Raoul warns any deals that seem too good to be true or are very vague are likely scams, and that any service trying to pressure you into making a decision fast is probably not reputable. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
Traffic and weather next at 6:08.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand, so shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
Spruce, spruce, spruce. It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10 and time for us to check in with Roger Brand, who has the latest on your ride in from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, everything looks great on this Thursday morning, Debbie, unless you're on eastbound Highway 44. Again, no change in this situation with the road work, just running a little behind schedule. Eastbound 44, right at 109. Only the left lane is open. The rest of the lanes are shut down, and traffic is a solid jam back past the Six Flags exit. So as you're coming down the hill approaching Six Flags, you see the brake lights on, and you're crawling up to 109 from there. So a couple miles of backed up traffic, unfortunately, right now on eastbound 44. That's the only interstate issue we have. The rest of the work zone, 70 out west between Wright City and Warrenton, look good. 270 at Ladue both ways, no issues. 55 coming up through 141 to the Merrimack and that construction zone, you're good to go. 64 through Fairview Heights, no delays. And 5570, they've started this week doing a long-term project that's actually going to run through the summer of next year on 5570, basically between 203 and 255. And we have delays, especially in the afternoons both ways, but expect to see slowdowns there shortly. But right now, you even look good in that location. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Looking for a career change? Well, the Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level. Level up your future and earning potential. Take the first step at thegelmanteam.com.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixed with some clouds today, warm and a little more humid this afternoon, high 87. Partly cloudy tonight, though just 71. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, very warm and rather humid with a stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 88. For Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid with a chance of a thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Saturday's high 91. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's cloudy in Florissant, 60 degrees there, 59 in St. Peter's, cloudy sky, 59 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:12. President Trump signed an executive order this week asking AI companies to hand their newest models to the government for safety testing before release, though the program is completely voluntary. OpenAI helped shape the policy, and on a swing through Washington, CEO Sam Altman gave the order his blessing.
I think it's a great start, yeah. I mean, directionally, yes.
Altman, a graduate of John Burroughs High School, is meeting with lawmakers across the spectrum on his trip who want to give taxpayers a 50% stake in the biggest AI companies.
People who fire guns at unstaffed public shooting ranges in Missouri may soon be required to have a small game hunting permit. The proposal received first-round approval from the Missouri Conservation Commission last week.
Justin McGuire with the Department of Conservation says some exceptions would be allowed,
such as youth under 16 and adults age 65 and up. In addition to adding this language to the developmental disability exception, we propose to remove the requirement for disabled individuals to attend a hunter education course before qualifying for the exception.
The proposed rule would not apply to shooting ranges that are staffed. The permits range in price from $11 to $108, depending on residency. A final vote is expected in September.
Heightened World Cup security means tighter rules for drone flights in parts of Missouri.
The FAA has placed temporary flight restrictions in the St. Louis area connected to World Cup events. The no-fly zones began May 29th and run through July 21st, covering areas around team training sites, hotels, and other buildings. Federal data also shows active restrictions in the Kansas City area starting June 1st and running into at least late July. Anyone operating a drone in those areas without approval could face federal charges, fines up to $100,000, and have their equipment taken away. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
Tennis players beware. Pickleball players are taking over St. Louis this weekend. Players from the city's professional pickleball team, the St. Louis Shock, Kate Fahey and Anna Bright, joined KMOX's Chris and Amy yesterday. They were both collegiate tennis players before transitioning to pickleball, with Fahey saying she first learned about the sport when her local tennis court was converted into a pickleball court in 2017.
I would say tennis players aren't too happy about the conversion. There's definitely some sort of rivalry between tennis and pickleball. Me personally, I think the two can coexist at the same time.
St. Louis Shock players scrimmaged against the Southern California Hard Eights last night to kick off the 4-day-long Major League Pickleball tournament taking place at Chaffetz Arena.
That's great. Another sporting event going on this weekend in St. Louis. And we have a ton of them. The Cardinals and the Reds. We'll get to the Cardinals in just a moment. Good win for them last night. You have the Battlehawks playing a playoff game at the Dome on Sunday. IndyCar race at 8:25. Battlehawks right before that on the same network on Fox at 5 o'clock. At Energizer Park on Saturday, it's a World Cup friendly. It's Bosnia and Herzegovina taking on Panama and the St. Louis Cardinals. They'll be playing a game against the Reds tomorrow night at 7 o'clock and trying to build a new winning streak. Yesterday, the Cardinals got off to a great start. Alec Burleson at the plate with a runner in scoring position in the first inning.
Burleson swings, and he loops it into right center, a base hit. Walker's going to score, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. On to third base, Nelson Velasquez on the RBI hit by Alec Burleson.
Burleson up again in the third inning with an opportunity to bring some runners home.
And there's a line drive, base hit to right field. The Cardinals are going to score two. Burleson rounding first. He's going to second, and he slides in safely. Burleson with his 15th double of the year. And he has all three Cardinal RBIs as they lead 3-1 here in the third inning.
They added another run and an RBI triple by Thomas Sajaci, and the Cardinals pitching took care of it from there. 5 2/3 from Andre Palante, and then the bullpen, aside from JoJo Romero giving up a couple of runs, was pretty solid. Ryan Stanek gave up nothing in an inning in 2/3. Cardinals got a save out of Riley O'Brien, too. A good closer situation for him. And a victory. The Redbird Report, sponsored by Restoration One of Greater St. Louis.
In a 5-3 win against the Rangers, the middle of the Cardinals order really comes through. The 3-4-5 hitter combination of Jordan Walker, Nelson Velasquez, and Alec Burleson combined to go 7 for 11, with each hitter collecting multiple hits. If you add in the 2-hitter Ivan Herrera and the 6-hitter Jose Fermin, 2 through 6 account for 9 of the club's 11 hits. Manager Oliver Marmol happy with that part of the order.
They moved it forward today. A lot of contact, good approach. I liked what we saw out of those guys. And then some big knocks with 2 outs as well. Nelly had one. Burley had one, so JC as well. But overall, I felt like we executed well tonight.
The club goes 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position, and 3 players collect 2-out RBIs. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I got to watch Kyle grow up. You know, I was in Las Vegas for many years. Kyle was racing at the bull ring that we operated out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yeah, I watched him since he was 15 years old. And through all these things, when we got our race in St. Louis, Kyle was one of the first drivers who reached out to me and said, I want to help promote your race.
That is General Manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway, Chris Blair, talking about Kyle Busch, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. And the track certainly will be honoring him later this year with the NASCAR Cup Series playoff race in St. Louis. There is a strong connection between drivers around the country and, quite frankly, around the world and this track. The track in Madison, Illinois, the only track in the world that hosts IndyCar, NASCAR, and NHRA. And this weekend, these 3 monster races will get kickstarted with the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, the IndyCar race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We will have a preview of that race coming up at 6:45. The Knicks do it again. They've won 12 straight playoff games. They won last night, coming back after being down 14 in the second half. They beat the Spurs 105-95 to take a 1-0 lead in the NBA Finals. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan, no closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan in MLS 226715.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 6:21 and time for us to check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, unfortunately, Debbie, still no change on eastbound 44. We still have this overnight road work out there that only has the left lane open eastbound 44 at 109. Traffic's jammed back across Fox Creek there before you get to Six Flags on eastbound 44. If you get off at the Six Flags exit, West 5th Street looks good until you get up to, that's sort of out of my view there, like the Jimmy John's Culver's area. It starts to back up. If you live in the area, you know where that is on West 5th Street. So that's your alternate route, and it's not as bad. But, again, there's at least a little bit of a delay there. Now, other than that, the rest of the interstates do not look bad. The ramp from North 55 getting on North 270 is a little slow, but once you get on North 270, it's a great run all the way up past 64 in Ladue out west, southbound 61 down onto 64 or 70 coming out of Wentzville. There are no delays on the Illinois side. We still look okay. 64 through 159 in Fairview Heights, and that stretch of 5570 both ways between 255 and 203 is still moving pretty well. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Gravois Bluffs. Come visit us now. Ready to refresh your space with furniture that's built to last? The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Fenton and Gravois Bluffs. Experience Haverty's regret-free guarantee for yourself and shop the latest in living rooms, bedrooms, and more. Visit Haverty's now in Gravois Bluffs.
Well, you get a great forecast. A little more humid this afternoon, but sunshine and some clouds today, says Joe Lundberg. High 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Tomorrow, sun and clouds, a little more humid, and a chance of a thunderstorm around in the afternoon for Friday, a high of 88 degrees. Currently, cloudy sky, 60 in Florissant, 60 in St. Peters, and 60 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:23. Total Information AM continues. The Missouri State Highway Patrol's annual school bus inspections are out. And KMOX wanted to know exactly what goes into keeping a district's fleet of big yellow buses ready for the road. Michael Calhoun spoke with Travis Warren, Transportation Operations and Fleet Manager for Parkway Schools.
Quite a lot. We have a normal maintenance schedule that we do PMs and all our maintenance on all our buses regularly that we track with the software. But we have 117 buses, so they all get checked regularly for all maintenance and everything. And then before we would do our highway patrol inspection, every bus is brought in and double checked and triple checked. And then if anything arises or comes up, we make sure we fix that right away.
It takes a lot to do transportation in-house.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big operation. I mean, we have 6 full-time mechanics, 85 drivers. We run quite a few routes, about 85 to 90 routes a year. So then we have a number of buses that are used for our spare buses or field trip buses. So it's quite a large operation. For we service about 30 schools.
It looks like more than 98% from the highway patrol, just 1% of the buses having issues. What are the typical, I guess, kinds of issues that a school bus might have?
They really check everything. I mean, they check it down to like the latch on the fire extinguisher. If there's a hole in the seat, they check, like stitching. They check if any fraying on like a seat belt, and then everything, engine underneath the bus, relay exhaust, brakes, tires, everything. So they thoroughly check all of it. Window buzzers, all safety equipment, everything. So they really nitpick all of it. And to have a 98% is quite good in my book for the size fleet we have. It's easy to do, with a 10 bus fleet or something, but with over 100 vehicles, it takes quite a good team to accomplish that. They can find big things like out of service items, which would be like a fuel leak or a tire issue or something, down to just like an advisory item, which could be just like a light bulb out. All they were able to find on our entire fleet was one adjustment on the brake, which we just quickly tightened the brake up a little bit, just on one wheel. It was a little bit loose, and then they found one blinker bulb that was burned out, and that's all they could find on us.
I think a lot of people can relate to that, taking their cars for the inspection, something like a blinker bulb. And, it could be a simple fix, but.
Yep, we popped a new bulb in, and then they rechecked it real quick, and everything was good to go.
Parents, when they walk their kids to the bus stop in the morning starting this fall, or if they're going to summer school, what's your takeaway when it comes to the Parkway bus fleet?
I mean, our main thing is always safety of the students. So that is our main priority. And we make sure to diligently check everything all the time, constantly, to make sure we have the safest buses on the road at all times. And if we ever do find an issue, which does happen, things break, as you would know, that bus is out of service, and we have a spare bus in its place that is also safe. We do not, under any circumstances, send out anything that is safe or doesn't meet, DOT specs.
It is 6:26, and 63 million Americans are caregivers. The nonprofit United We says a third of those are still raising their own kids while helping aging loved ones, and the bulk of caregivers also still trying to hold down a job.
When caregivers have to step back from work, United We President and CEO Wendy Doyle says that has an impact on their livelihood and their own care needs down the road.
We know women have lived 6 to 7 years longer than men do, so their lifespan is longer. Well, they may be dropping out of the workforce to care either for children or for family members. This means lack of contributing to retirement funds and to Social Security.
Doyle says there's also the impact on businesses, losing talent and facing the cost of replacing employees. United We is spearheading a new multi-state effort to create supports and solutions. It includes Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
It's 6:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
I think a lot of people think they have an estate plan, but aren't really sure because they did it years ago. They've been meaning to look at it again, but they can't remember. And honestly, that is the problem. Estate plans are not one and done. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family's been clients of the Laterman Law Firm for more than 2 decades, and I love the fact that I'm getting to talk about them right now. What I've learned is most plans don't fail because people don't care. They fail because life changes and the plan doesn't keep up. At Laterman Law Firm, this isn't just paperwork. It's an ongoing process. They build your estate plan to protect your family and your property, and then for a fixed annual fee, they actually help maintain it so it stays aligned with changes in your life, your assets, and the law. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, including Illinois, and you want an estate plan that actually works, call the Laterman Law Firm. LatermanLaw.com, LAIDERMAN law.com, or the phone number is 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
The pitch. Mason Wynn hits it hard. Deep left field. That ball's out of here.
Community America Credit Union has been helping people like you and me, shortstop Mason Wynn, to win big for 85 years. Cash back with your free checking. Win. No service fees or minimum balance. Win. Bank anywhere, anytime with their app. Win. So yeah, with Community America, you can win. And so can I. Mason Wynn. Community America Credit Union. Invested in St. Louis, invested in you.
The road to the United Bowl starts here. Your St. Louis Battlehawks have clinched the playoffs and earned dome field advantage. Playoff football is coming back to St. Louis, Sunday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
It is 6:30 and we've got clouds in downtown St. Louis. It's 60 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, some good news on 44. Just in the last couple of minutes, the one construction crew truck, the one work truck on eastbound 44 at 109 moved away, and now there's a gentleman walking backwards through the work zone. He's not walking backwards. He's heading toward traffic, moving the barrels over. Yesterday, late in the rush hour, we had that set up, or most of the rush hour, where the right lane was still closed through there. That's what it looks like what they're doing now. They're moving the barrels over, so you're going to have two lanes open on eastbound 44 at 109, but not just yet. It's still just down to one lane. I mean, he's only gone about 20 or 30 yards so far, so the jam still goes back west of Six Flags on eastbound 44. It's a solid jam. North 5th Street is a better option. It's still backed up from about the Jimmy John's to 109 to give you an idea how much of a delay you'll have if you go that route. If you're taking other routes, well, it still looks okay. 55 coming up through Arnold. That's usually where we start to see slowdowns. Getting on to North 270, you look good. Both directions, 270 at Ladue, okay. It looks like we got trouble out west, though, on the ramp from southbound 61 getting on to eastbound 70. Looks like there may be a restriction at the end of the ramp. It's a solid jam at Wentzville Parkway on southbound 61 right now, getting on to eastbound 70. But once you get on the highway, looks like you're okay, and we're still okay. All the interstates downtown on the Illinois side headed for the bridges are wide open. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Center.
Today is going to be sun and some clouds, a little bit more humid and warmer too, a high of 87. Then tomorrow through Monday, we've got thunderstorm chances every day, and it's going to be 88 tomorrow, 91 on Saturday, currently clouds, and 60.
At the request of Mayor Kara Spencer, the Board of Police Commissioners is postponing a vote on giving raises to command staff until their next meeting on the 17th. Spencer said the city was not told of these raises until 36 hours before the meeting. Adding pay parity with the fire department has forced them to scramble ahead of the July 1st budget deadline.
The finalization of the city's budget is now in chaos.
Board President Chris Saraceno says while he understands the delay, he's still disappointed.
The men and women of our command staff have gone well and above and earned every a raise.
Chief of Police Robert Tracy says recent raises that did not include the command staff have imbalanced their pay scale so much some officers would get a pay cut taking a promotion.
I'm Maria Aquina. The St. Louis Firefighters Union Local 73 is responding to Police Chief Robert Tracy's assertion that firefighters face less risk than police officers.
We have two different types. We have inherent risks in our positions, but we also have other things that police officers do: interaction with the public, carrying a firearm, criminal and civil liability that we're exposed to.
Local 73 President Dan Clark says those comments are not supported by the evidence. The Bureau of Labor Statistics consistently ranks firefighting among the most dangerous occupations in America. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
A bill that would raise city water rates has passed out of committee. Under the proposal, bills would go up over the next 8 years. The first 2 years would be 18% raises each of the 2 years, then 6% a year after that. The City Water Division says that move is necessary because the department will run out of funding by the end of this year. That bill now heads to the full Board of Aldermen for a vote.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Before a nation, there was an idea. Before freedom, there was a sacrifice. This year, KMOX marks America's 250th birthday. Step into history with John Hancock and Michael Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, as they pull you into the moment where everything was on the line. This is the sound of a nation being born. Celebrate America, 250 years strong, with Hancock and Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, only on KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, Skin Cancer Awareness this summertime, and we're joined by Dr. Aubriana McAvoy, a WashU medicine surgeon at Siteman Cancer Center.
I always tell patients that sun protection doesn't mean you have to avoid enjoying summer. It's really about being smart and consistent with sun protection. The basics are staying in the shade, especially between those really peak hours of sunlight, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They make great sun protective clothing now, like shirts, wide brim hats, sunglasses, and using sunscreen regularly. My favorite sunscreen is the one that you like to wear. We generally recommend SPF 30 or higher, and they have mineral-based sunscreens with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide that are great for people with sensitive skin and young kids.
For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
It is 6:36 and time for your money report from Bloomberg. It is sponsored for you by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Bank of America is continuing to hire even as artificial intelligence and other technology tools take over jobs. Next week, 2,000 summer interns and another 2,000 full-time recruits from college campuses will flock to the financial firm's offices. Bank of America says while the technology has transformed certain roles, it doesn't mean that their hiring needs have changed. Wall Street is tracking the conflict in the Middle East. The U.S. and Iran have sketched out a framework to extend their truce by 2 months and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but negotiations are stalling. S&P futures are down 33 points. However, Dow futures are rising 135. And a deadly cattle parasite has been confirmed in the U.S. for the first time in nearly a decade. It's the latest threat to the herd, which is already at its lowest level in 75 years and has sent beef prices soaring. A suspected case from South Texas tested positive for New World screwworm. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits. all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
All eyes will be on Mizzou men's basketball this year, with one of the nation's top recruiting classes coming to the Zoo. You don't want to be watching from the couch while Mizzou Arena is rocking, so grab your black and gold and experience it. Go to MUTigers.com/MVBTIX to get your name on the season ticket request list for next season. Don't wait. Visit MUTigers.com/MVBTIX today. MIZ.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is 6:40 and we need to check the roadways and the weather. It should be a pretty decent day today. We've got some cloud cover right now, so you won't need the sunglasses, but who knows what's waiting you on your ride in. Roger Brand does. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're still working on 44, but it's getting better, obviously, out to the west since they're picking up some of that road work. This, if you're headed in on the highways, just be prepared. It is jammed. This traffic reports the service of Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. It's backed up west of Six Flags all the way into 109. Now they're opening up the two left lanes now. It was only left lane, so they're opening up that middle lane. They're moving from 109 back towards Six Flags as they do it. So the front end of it will gradually ease up a bit, but right now it's a pretty solid jam. North 5th Street, or West 5th Street rather, the North Service Road is backed up at about the Taco Bell, I guess, eastbound, if you're thinking about that as an alternate route to get off that jam on 44. If you're on northbound 270, Doherty Ferry up to Manchester is heavy. Eastbound Highway 30, Mauer to 270, you've got delays there. Southbound 61, you've got stop-and-go pockets south of P down to 64. The incident we had at the ramp to eastbound 70 looks like it's been cleared, so it's just volume building and unwinding from that earlier incident. And on the Illinois side, eastbound 5570, a little slow now, east to 203. Next update is 650 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
It is 6:41. We've got cloudy skies downtown, but we should see the sun at some point, says AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg, right?
No, indeed, we will, Debbie. There's going to be some sunshine. There are a fair amount of clouds that are rolling through right now, but if you look at the satellite in motion, these are going to be drifting northeastward. And with some sunshine, it'll warm a little bit more than recent days. We'll throw in a little bit more humidity, too, with a high of 87. And overnight tonight, partly cloudy, the low just 71. Very warm and rather humid tomorrow with sun and clouds. Could be a thunderstorm that rolls through in the afternoon, but right now doesn't look like anything severe. The high 88. Partly sunny on Saturday, a hot, humid start to the weekend. A spotty thunderstorm most likely in the afternoon. Even then, not everyone's going to see one. The high 91. Sunday gets a little cloudier. Definitely going to be humid with some showers and a thunderstorm most likely in the afternoon. The high 85. That unsettled weather likely lingers into Monday. Mostly cloudy, humid, some showers and a thunderstorm. The high about 84. Right now across the area, we're looking at 61 degrees at St. Peter's, at 65 in Florissant. Mostly cloudy, 66 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:43. A Trump-backed candidate failed to take the primary in a very red state. We get more from ABC's Trevor Alt.
In Iowa, a rare primary defeat for a Trump-endorsed candidate. Republican Congressman Randy Feenstra losing to farmer and businessman Zach Lund.
Tonight is just the beginning. The fight starts now.
And now Democrats in deep red Iowa are hoping they can flip the governor's office and a Senate seat. And in New Jersey, Democrat and former Navy pilot Rebecca Bennett will now take on Republican Congressman Tom Kaine, who's missed more than 100 votes because of a mystery health problem.
There have been thousands of complaints against ICE detention centers, including lack of medical care and food, overcrowding, and abuse. Congresswoman Ann Wagner says no, they get health care and 3 meals a day. Congressman Wesley Bell and Nikki Budzinski toured the ICE facility in St. Genevieve. Wagner agreed with KFDK host Mark Cox that they are lying about the conditions they saw there.
It's absolutely, they're getting their clickbait. They raise low dollar donor funds with this stuff. But again, we are the party of law and order, and supporting our federal officers is an absolute
duty, said Wagner. Bell traveled to an ICE detention center in Louisiana this week, trying to find a Maplewood man who was taken by ICE despite having permission to be in the country. SpaceX is detailing plans for going public next month in a move that could have Elon Musk breaking records.
When SpaceX goes public this month, it says it plans to raise $75 billion. That would be the largest ever stock market debut and would put Elon Musk in line to become the world's first trillionaire. SpaceX saying initial public offering shares will be set at $135 apiece and that they're going to sell 555 million shares, giving SpaceX a market value of $1.8 trillion. Only 6 companies in the S&P 500 are worth more than that. SpaceX says Musk's voting power in the public company will come primarily through his ownership of 5.2 billion Class C shares, which give 10 votes for every share held. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Just as beef prices hit a new high, there's a new threat for the industry. A parasitic fly known as the screwworm has been found in the United States for the first time in decades, posing a risk to the nation's cattle. Here's Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins.
This pest does not cause any sort of a food safety issue. It is not a disease, but simply an insect that feeds on living tissues. Animals treated early enough will recover and are safe to enter the food supply system.
Cardinal baseball last night at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals got them back after losing the first 2 to the Texas Rangers. The Cardinals got it done. It's Matt Pauley with the good news about one of their best sluggers.
Coming into the Cardinals' 5-3 win against Texas yesterday, Jordan Walker had just 2 hits over his last 5 games, striking out 9 times. He breaks out, going 3 for 4 last night, and manager Oliver Marmol likes Walker's response to his mini slump.
Trying to figure out the best way to describe this because it's like he was mad about it rather than searching. And there's a difference there where you're in that little lull for a week and you can start searching and things kind of speed up on you. You can just tell he was mad at the fact that he's allowed himself to do that. And that's a good sign. So I like where he's at physically. I like where he's at mentally.
Walker now has a team-high 6 3-hit games. He's also scored 41 runs. That surpasses last season's total in 52 less games, and he's just 10 runs shy of his career high of 51, which he had in his 2023 rookie season. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Big weekend in St. Louis. You'll have the Cardinals and Reds starting tomorrow night, 7:15 start at Busch Stadium. The World Cup friendly at Energizer Park on Saturday, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Panama. The St. Louis Battlehawks play a playoff game on Sunday night at 5 on Fox from the Dome. And then to wrap it up on Fox, it's IndyCar at Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois.
Malukas is out in front. Side by side behind. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Malukas has to defend from Rosenquist. Great run off the final corner. Here comes Rosenquist. Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be? It's Rosenquist.
Felix Rosenquist won the Indianapolis 500 by half a car length in dramatic fashion on Fox just a couple of weeks ago. And now, says Worldwide Technology Raceway General Manager Chris Blair, they're all coming here.
Yeah, we're the first oval race after the Indy 500, the only night race on the Indy schedule for the whole season. The fact that we're on Network Fox, that says a lot as well. And surprising, it was really surprising to us. This is the biggest advance sale we've had since the 2019 event. So this is our biggest one since COVID. The momentum is continuing. We're way up on ticket sales. We're going to have a huge crowd there. And a lot of it are local folks who love the concept of the Sunday night race. I mean, it's kind of like Monday Night Football. It's something totally different, unique. You don't see this in the world of racing. and people are really excited about it, and it's really making it special. And we like to think we're a really special racetrack, not your normal racetrack. This isn't your normal race, and folks can spend their whole weekend doing what they need to do, and then they can cruise out in the evening and see some of the fastest cars on the planet in their own backyard. And it's world-class entertainment right here at home.
That's going to be an 825 green flag at Worldwide Technology Raceway on Sunday night, but a lot of activity leading up to that all day Sunday and certainly throughout Friday and Saturday. Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, and Making Memories. St. Louis Composting is a great service. 9 different locations in the St. Louis area. There's one near you. Just go to stlcompost.com. Bet you didn't know that you have one pretty close to you where you can pick up mulch, soil, or compost. You can load up your truck or trailer, or if you'd rather have it delivered, which we did, just do that. Go to stlcompost.com and get it all set up. They even have a cubic yards calculator where you can figure out how much you need. Refresh your entire landscape, and a full landscape cleanup is great right now. Do you have a garden? Are you growing a garden? Compost is great for that. Not sure how much you need. Again, the calculator at stlcompost.com will get you to that. St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, Making Memories.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for an unforgettable evening of music with the legendary, incomparable Bernadette Peters, legendary Tony Award-winning star of stage and screen. With her signature charisma and unmatched artistry, this one-night-only performance with your SLSO offers an intimate concert experience with one of musical theater's most luminous voices and a must-see event for Broadway and symphony fans alike. Don't miss an evening with Bernadette Peters, Friday, June 12th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Is your garage door past its prime? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renters also hire experienced techs and installers. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:52. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're on southbound 61, we have some delays. This traffic reports the service of financial and tax strategies. A couple of pockets from Highway P down to 64. Westbound 64, 364 through Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Looks like roadwork delays for you there. Northbound 270, Clayton Road overpass up to 64 is kind of busy. 44 has been the big trouble spot. You're still backed up west of Six Flags. Then it's pockets from there into 109. And they do have the 2 left lanes open now. The West 5th Street, the North Service Road is backed up to about the Taco Bell to 109, if you're wondering if that's a good alternate for you. Eastbound Highway 30, Mauer to 270, you've got delays there. Other than that, on the Illinois side, we're looking good for you, headed for the bridges. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
It'll be a bit more humid this afternoon, a high of 87 degrees, partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. The sun back tomorrow with a high of 88, but a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. It's 61 right now.
A ban on swipe fees continues to hang in limbo in Illinois.
Illinois lawmakers have debated the ban on the added fees for taxes and tips for 2 years now after pushing the start date back every session since 2024. There's another issue, though, and that's a federal judge's recent ruling. In February, U.S. District Judge Virginia Kendall originally ruled the ban could take effect because it didn't interfere with any rules set by the Federal Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. However, in April, the office rewrote some of those rules. And just hours after Illinois lawmakers finished the spring session and pushed the ban back to July of 2027, Judge Kendall changed course and issued a permanent injunction against the ban. According to Capital News Illinois, what happens next isn't clear, but it will likely involve further judicial review. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
When it comes to income, Illinois fares well. According to a new Wallet Hub survey, Illinois ranks 9th in the nation for states where people have the highest incomes. That's based on 3 key metrics: average income for the top 5%, the average for the bottom 20%, and the median income for all residents. The top earning state is Virginia, followed by New York, New Jersey, Washington, and Connecticut. Missouri is ranked 23rd.
City Foundry continues to grow. Its developer, New and Found, is building another office building, an 83,000 square foot mass timber structure that'll be called 2 Foundry Way. The 100,000 square feet of office space already at the Foundry is fully leased, according to the Business Journal. New and Found's Steve Smith says companies are looking for amenity-rich buildings that encourage employees to come to the office.
There's another mass timber development plan for the city. AHM's 29-story residential tower on Locust, but no groundbreaking date has been scheduled. Mass timber buildings use prefabricated, large-scale engineered wood instead of steel or concrete.
Big ideas for Glen Carbon's new tax incentive district near 255 and 270. Developer C.R. Holland tells the Business Journal it's negotiating with a range of prospective users in its $2 billion mixed-use project called Destination Illinois, including a possible water park hotel. Reportedly, more than $1 billion of letters of intent are already in place with potential tenants.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Leahy strikes out Swanson.
Happy birthday, Cardinals pitcher Kyle Leahy. He is 29 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Happy birthday wishes going out to Lucia Johnson. Happy 92nd birthday to Jerry McCormick. Brad Hildebrand is celebrating today. So is Angie Sanford and Jamie Armstrong from the Church Chicks.
This is the best birthday ever.
Back is it. He leaps and makes a fantastic catch. Calling all bobblehead enthusiasts. Saturday, June 6th, as the Cardinals take on the Cincinnati Reds, fans can score a Jim Edmonds bobblehead presented by Ford. This collectible captures his unforgettable home run robbing grab at the wall, a play that still gives Cardinals fans chills. Add a defensive icon to your shelf and relive a moment that defined an era. Don't miss this one. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Future Gold Glovers, this one's for you. Sunday, June 7th, the Cardinals welcome the Cincinnati Reds to Busch Stadium. And that day, kids receive a City Connect Rawlings glove presented by Rawlings. Built for playing catch all summer long, it's ready for backyard games, trips to the park, and every I got it moment. A day at the ballpark that keeps the season going. Get tickets now at cardinals.com/promotion.
It's time to slide into a deal with Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. Right now, catch 0% financing for 84 months on a John Deere 1025R compact tractor package for as low as $269 a month. This one machine is built to do it all. Mow, move, dig, and clear with ease. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th. Slide into a deal today at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners, snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 6/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
The legendary Fast Eddie at Fast Eddie's Bon Air and St. Louis baseball legend Jason Isringhausen.
Izzy, what's going on, man? And you know what, Eddie boy, I've been pretty busy. Got to get out there and got to do the mowing. Yep, I'll tell you what, when you get done mowing the grass. Well, I do my best Forrest Gump impression with all of that mowing I have to do around the property. Do it for St. Louis, do it. Like Mama said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, except at Fast Eddie's Bon Air. What are we going to get at Fast Eddie's? Let me get it right. You can
come on over to Fast Eddie's Bar Bonaire, located on the other side of Clark Bridge in beautiful Alton, Illinois. When you're done mowing the grass, come over here and lounge around with me on the beautiful outdoor patio with all the big screens, the live music playing, the hot chick on a stick.
What about that fancy surf and turf you came up with?
Man, I'm telling you what, that is meat and seafood on one stick. And it's called the Eddie. It's the king of all foods.
Like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, come on over to that Clark Bridge and come see Fast Eddie's Bonaire in beautiful Alton, Illinois.
Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we obviously still have pretty lengthy delays on eastbound 44. Not a solid jam, but it's still slow west to Six Flags. Stop-and-go pockets into 109. North 270 Clayton Road up to 64 is heavy. Southbound 61 south of P down to 70 is slow. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Thursday, June the 4th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
It's bad for the city. The words of St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy on pay parity with St. Louis firefighters. The Firefighters Union is responding.
Learn more at 722.
At school buses, how did districts in the St. Louis area do? I'm Michael Calhoun with the results.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bodimer. Another possible health benefit from those popular new weight loss drugs. The story is coming up.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today and becoming a bit warmer this afternoon with a high of 87.
Big weekend of KMOX sports coverage. We'll have it all for you in 15 minutes.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. For the first time since the 1970s, the New World screwworm has been confirmed in the U.S. The parasite found in a calf in Texas.
One major concern is the beef industry, which is already struggling. Beef prices are up 13% in the last year. One factor, fewer cattle. The U.S. cattle herd is at a 75-year low because of extreme weather, high feed costs, and industry consolidation. The screwworm could make matters worse.
ABC's Andrea Fujii. For the first time since the president ordered attacks on Iran, the House has passed a resolution to rein in his war powers. 4 Republicans breaking ranks, joining with all the Democrats in voting yes. Israel and Lebanon agreeing to a ceasefire, but that has not stopped Israel and Hezbollah from launching new attacks in southern Lebanon. The IPO for SpaceX now set for next week. The price of a share will be initially set at $135. This is ABC News. The Supreme Court is expected to hand down more rulings today, and one of them could be a decision on birthright citizenship, a part of the Constitution that says children born in the U.S. are U.S. citizens. President Trump wants to get rid of that. ABC's Devin Dwyer has been talking to moms of newborns with fears.
There is a real concern that some children born to these immigrants could lose their U.S. citizenship and become stateless. They were born here. If it's taken away, they simply would not have any documents from any country. They would essentially become undocumented and become separated from their families, theoretically, and certainly would have a very hard time establishing citizenship somewhere. And so that's a very real scenario and concern that I heard in a number of conversations.
Could be higher gas prices, but a lot of people seem to be eyeing more fuel-efficient vehicles. Data firm Motor Intelligence says sales of hybrids jumped 33% last month compared to a year ago. This is ABC News.
It is 7:02. We do have some sunshine right now through the clouds at 62 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. The state-appointed Board of Police Commissioners approve raises for civilian employees and command staff.
The civilian employee raises were approved, while the command staff will have to wait at least 2 weeks while the city figures out how this will impact their overall budget. Chief of Police Robert Tracy says command staff were excluded from recent raises to officers, and he's having a hard time getting people to take the promotional test because the salaries lag behind other departments.
Our lieutenant colonels are paid $60,000 less than the lieutenant colonels in Kansas City. A year. And it's almost $50,000 for majors.
Mayor Kara Spencer says the last-minute raises would have also forced raises to the fire department, ruining the budget in the 11th hour.
With the passage of this measure, that was throwing our budget out of balance. We will have to make cuts from the budget that we had proposed to set before the Board of E&A today.
By law, the city must pass a balanced budget by the end of the month. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The issue is the law that mandates the police and fire department have pay parity. When the police get a raise, so does the fire department. It's something that is frustrating Chief of Police Robert Tracy, who says they aren't constantly asked to give the concessions that they are constantly asked to give concessions that the fire department does not have to make.
The mayor has asked us to address the benefits program as far as how for retirees and how can we work that in. If we're being asked to look at those things, once again, another concession, but why not looking at concessions to break parity?
Tracy points to last year's raises, which the fire department also received without the reduction in budgeted strength the police department conceded. Tracy says he has the utmost respect for the fire department, but the parity is hurting their ability to pay competitive wages.
And I love the firemen, and I want the best. And I'm like, hey, pay them as much as you can, but make sure you're not holding the police department back.
Asked about the pay parity rule, Mayor Spencer says her priority is this current budget, and that is not being considered.
A 25-year-old is in custody after shooting at a security guard in a Jennings Aldi. It happened Monday, with Fox 2 reporting Avante Taylor saw the son of his mother's ex-boyfriend in a neighboring building. He then chased the person into the Aldi and pulled out a handgun. A security guard in the grocery store shot Taylor in the shoulder, and Taylor returned fire without hitting the security guard. County police later found Taylor being treated at a nearby hospital. He's currently being held in the county jail and is facing first-degree assault charges.
St. Louis police haven't released much information about a surge of car break-ins in different neighborhoods around the city. However, they did release some details of an incident about 1 o'clock Wednesday morning.
The neighborhood was Tower Grove South, though police did not provide a street. They received a 911 call from residents saying a group of people were lifting door handles and trying to break into cars. When officers arrived, they saw the alleged suspects, but they ran. Police eventually detained a 17-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. Police say the older teen had a gun. When the officers contacted juvenile detention, they declined to hold the pair and instead released them to their parents. According to posts on social media sites, other neighborhoods that would-be thieves have targeted the Central West End, St. Louis Hills, and Carondelet. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol is out with its 2026 school bus inspection results. Important news for parents. KMOX's Michael Calhoun is comparing how districts in our area did.
State troopers inspected 281 buses for the St. Louis County Special School District, and 95% passed the check. In St. Charles County, all 151 buses for Francis Howell passed inspection. In Parkway School District, they passed 98.1 of the 105 buses the troopers looked at. Parkway Transportation Operations Manager Travis Warren tells KMOX his team checks out the buses before the state arrives.
They really check everything. I mean, they check it down to like the latch on the fire extinguisher. If there's a hole in a seat, they check, like stitching. They check if any fraying on like a seat belt, and then everything, engine underneath the bus, relay exhaust, brakes, tires, everything. So they thoroughly check all of it. Window buzzers, all safety equipment, everything. So they really nitpick all of it.
Warren says the district relies on 6 full-time mechanics to keep the buses up to state standards.
To have a 98% is quite good in my book for the size fleet we have.
On the other end, Ladue had 20% of its buses defective. Lift for Life Academy, 25% of buses failed. Northside Community School, 28.6% failed. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Also in the news today is the Missouri Association of Realtors, usually on the same side of things with the governor. They're spending a lot of money hoping to defeat Governor Kehoe's top priority, eliminating the state income tax. The realtors so far have spent almost $2 million opposing Amendment 5, which voters statewide will get a crack at in August.
According to Scott Charton with Missourians for Fair Taxation, the realtors call Amendment 5 the everything tax. That's because eliminating the state income tax would mean raising sales taxes on everything, including items and services that aren't taxed now. There's also concern it could affect a constitutional ban on taxing real estate transfers.
A bill that would raise city water rates passed out of committee yesterday. Under this proposal, bills would go up over the next 8 years. The first 2 years of increases would be 18% each year, then 6% a year after that. The City Water Division says the move is necessary because the department will run out of funding by the end of the year. The bill now heads to the full Board of Aldermen.
The roads, for the most part, look pretty good, but there are a couple of issues here and there. Roger Brand will tell you what you're running into in just a moment. It's 7:08.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-922-1284. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284.
There's nothing like hearing your friends and family clearly. A grandchild's laugh, conversation with a friend, or the punchline to a joke. Charlie Brennan here with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler and her team understand that hearing is personal. That's why you'll always work with certified audiologists like Adam Voss, Bailey Campbell, and Dr. Colleen Bosler.
That's right, Charlie. We offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so our recommendations are based on what fits you best. With us, we follow best practice fitting methods to ensure your hearing aids are programmed precisely for your unique hearing needs. But our care doesn't end when you walk out the door. As we know, hearing aids require continued support, adjustments, and maintenance, and we offer these services at no extra cost to you. Because better hearing isn't just about devices, it's about reconnecting to the moments that matter most. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. We still have clouds downtown, but some sunshine keeps peeking through. We'll get you more on the forecast in just a moment. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have the delays that we had early this morning. The first trouble spot we had, Debbie, on eastbound 44. You're still backed up right at Six Flags, pretty much all the way into 109. The two left lanes are open now, so it's better than when only the left lane was open. But as we build more volume in there, the fact is you still have that right lane closed, so it's still a backup eastbound 44. Like I said, bumper to bumper from Six Flags all the way in to 109. If you're going to take West 5th Street, you start to see the delays again right around the Taco Bell, passing the Jimmy John's where it gets busy. Northbound 109, a little backup approaching 44 as well now. If you're on westbound 255, you can't see what's blocking, but it looks like we have a stall or a crash on the JB Bridge. Westbound 255 is backed up, jammed actually about midway back to Route 3 Columbia. North 270, north of Manchester up to Ladue in the work zone's heavy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down to 64 or 70. So once you get on 64 or 70, they both are moving well. And I'm starting to see a little delay on westbound 5570, midway in from 255 to 111. Next update is 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Let's check in with AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixed with some clouds today, warm and a little more humid this afternoon, high 87, partly cloudy tonight, low just 71. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, very warm and rather humid with a stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 88. For Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid with a chance of a thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Saturday's high 91. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, we have a cloudy sky, 62 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:12. City Foundry continues to grow. Its developer, New and Found, is building another office building, this time an 83,000 square foot mass timber structure. That'll be called 2 Foundry Way. The 100,000 square feet of office space, 1 Foundry Way, already there, is fully leased, according to the Business Journal. New and Found Steve Smith says companies are looking for amenity-rich buildings that encourage employees to come to the office.
There's another mass timber development planned for the city, AHM's 29-story residential tower on Locust, but no groundbreaking date has been scheduled. Mass timber buildings use prefabricated, large-scale engineered wood instead of steel or concrete.
The Missouri Conservation Commission has given first-round approval to requiring people that use unstaffed shooting ranges to have small game hunting permits. Justin McGuire with the Department of Conservation recently told the commission that the proposed requirement is sorely needed.
The usage of MDC's 37 unstaffed firearms shooting ranges has changed over time. This has led to increased maintenance and an increase in illegal shooting range misuse.
The permits range in price from $11 to $108, depending on residency. A final vote is scheduled for September.
World Cup security is grounding some drone flights across parts of Missouri.
The FAA has issued temporary flight restrictions over the St. Louis area tied to World Cup activities. Those no-fly zones start at May 29th and run through July 21st around team sites and hotels. Federal data also shows similar restrictions now in place in the Kansas City area. Flying a drone without approval in those zones could lead to fines up to $100,000 and possible federal charges. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
Chaffetz Arena will be taken over by pickleball lovers and pickleball players this weekend. The Major League Pickleball Tournament starts today and runs through Sunday, features athletes from all over the United States, including St. Louis Shock.
And Shock players Kate Fahey and Anna Bright joined KMOX's Chris and Amy yesterday morning, saying pickleball isn't all fun and games. Fahey says pickleball competitions feature a lot of the same components as other sports, from trash talking to injuries.
There are some players that like to dive over obstacles and stuff like that. So blood, sweat, and tears out on the pickleball court.
I think I heard Chris Ranji laughing about that. Let's see you get out there, Ranj, and compete. Come on, I'll take you on. Let's do it. I've never played, actually. You ever played pickleball?
I mean, I haven't played a whole game, but I did a story on pickleball probably 10 years ago when nobody had heard of it yet. And the pickleball crowd put a paddle in my hand and they said, here's how it works. So technically I have hit a pickleball, but I've not played a game.
Let's start things off with baseball and the cut of the game from the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. We will hear that after our report from our broadcaster.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals managed to salvage a game in the three-game series, beating the Texas Rangers last night at Busch Stadium 5-3.
3 RBIs from Alec Burleson, a good night from Jordan Walker. The Cardinals rested J.J. Weatherholt, and the guy that played for him, Thomas Sajaci, had a couple of big hits in the game and a really good start from Andre Palante, with Riley O'Brien finishing it off, and also good work from Ryan Stanek.
Ryan Stanek, his longest outing with the Cardinals this year, an inning and 2/3, and he came on under the gun.
He had a runner at third base, kept him there, and got to O'Brien for the ninth.
The Cardinals will welcome in the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow night after enjoying a day off today. And the Cardinals are going to pitch right-hander Kyle Leahy against right-hander Brady Singer. Airtime Friday night from Busch Stadium, 6:20, game time, 7:15.
J.J. Weatherholt gets that rest. Thomas Sajaci.
There's a swing and a drive to right field. That's hit well, and it's going to go over the head of Nimmo and off the wall at the 375 side. Sajaci's going to get a triple out of it and a run batted in. The Cardinals have a lead of 4-1, and I love 2-out RBIs.
Our player of the game this evening, Thomas Sajaci. You get to start at second base, and you took full advantage of it. 2 big hits and certainly a big RBI for you. How do you try and stay prepared? Because coming to the ballpark for you, you just never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, it's tough, but just stay in the cage and get on the beat machine and do everything I can to get ready for the game. And if I'm not in there, get the guys ready. So.
All right, talk about the triple. When did you think you could go for 3?
I just saw the ball trickle away, and I was like, all right, I'll send it.
Hey, how about the order tonight? When you think about the 3, 4, and 5 guys, they go 7, 4, 11 tonight. That really has to boost that offense a lot.
I mean, the top of our order has been amazing all year, and I think these guys are just doing their thing. And, they've been great all year. And tonight was just a testament to their hard work and the success that they've had previously this year. So it's fun to watch.
Cardinals have the day off today. They'll be taking on the Reds starting tomorrow night, 7:15 start on KMOX. Cards 5.5 out in the division. The Reds are in last place, 7 out. The New York Knicks winning streak lives on. They've won 12 consecutive playoff games, 7th team to have such a streak in NBA history. They win NBA Finals Game 1. Jalen Brunson, 30 points. Karl Anthony Towns finished with 18 points, 12 rebounds, and the Knicks erased a 14-point second-half deficit to beat the Spurs 105-95 in Game 1 last night in San Antonio. We'll talk about the big weekend of sports coming up in St. Louis at 7:45. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The pitch. Mason Wynn hits it hard. Deep left field. That ball's out of here.
Community America Credit Union has been helping people like you and me, shortstop Mason Wynn, to win big for 85 years. Cash back with your free checking. Win. No service fees or minimum balance. Win. Bank anywhere, anytime with their app. Win. So yeah, with Community America, you can win. And so can I. Mason Wynn. Community America Credit Union. Invested in St. Louis. Invested in you.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
Muni tickets for 2026 are on sale now, featuring Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. Choose your seats now at muni.org.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
With summer approaching us, McKelvey Homes has 2 communities worth your time to check out. The weather's good for checking out a new home. You ready for a fresh start? Cottleville Trails. You can save up to $83,000 on move-in ready homes at Cottleville Trails. Just a short walk or a golf cart ride to Main Street, Cottleville. You'll find loads of restaurants there, bars and shops, including Upshot Coffee, Frankie Martin's Garden, which has live music, brand new Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. The new display home is open there. Special opening savings at Strawberry Farms as well. You know, McKelvey Homes, they've been building in St. Louis for families since 1898. 128 years. Missouri's oldest home builder. You'll get legendary quality from McKelvey Homes. Prime locations from McKelvey. People who stand for our community, like the president of McKelvey Homes, Jim Brennan. The spring event, which is wrapping up soon, go to McKelveyHomes.com to learn more. McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Now the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:20. This is Total Information AM. Let's get you the latest on traffic and weather, starting with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, I'm looking at this crash now. I got a good look at it. Westbound 255 on the JB Bridge. They did only have the center lane open, but they shifted everything over to just the left lane. So only left lane's blocked now on the JB Bridge, but that means the 2 right lanes are all you have westbound. So you're jammed just west of Route 3 Columbia coming in on 255 right now. Northbound 55. From 67 up toward Highway A, we had a crash just south of A. It was on the shoulder, but the emergency crews showed up, so they're starting to see some delays there. The delays are still out there, eastbound 44, east of Six Flags, bumper to bumper about midway into 109, but it remains slow all the way through there because only the 2 left lanes are open. Overnight, it only had the left lane, so it's an improvement, obviously. Eastbound 44 is also a little slow. Lindbergh up toward Big Bend, we had an incident on the shoulder there. Southbound 61, north of Wentzville Parkway, getting down onto eastbound 70. That ramp is backing up, but once you get on to 70 or 64, you're good to go. And on the Illinois side, seeing more of a jam now on westbound 5570 from 255 most of the way to 111. There's a crash reported just before 111, just to add insult to injury there. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The road to the United Bowl starts here. Your St. Louis Battlehawks have clinched the playoffs and earned dome field advantage. Playoff football is coming back to St. Louis, Sunday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
Great weather, sunshine and some clouds, warm, a bit more humid this afternoon, high 87, partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Tomorrow, sun and clouds again, a little more humid with a thunderstorm chance around in the afternoon and a high of 88 degrees. Currently, we have a cloudy sky in downtown St. Louis. It's 64 at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. The contentious police board hearing Wednesday zeroed in on pay parity between St. Louis police and firefighters. The police chief pushing for Mayor Kara Spencer to change the city charter that voters approved for the first time in 1970 that requires any raises for police to have equal raises for firefighters.
The St. Louis Firefighters Union Local 73 is taking exception to Police Chief Robert Tracy's claims that the fire department having pay parity with police is bad business and bad for the city.
We're doing a disservice to the city and the safety of the city because of, we just brought up the firemen. Mayor, you brought up the fire department today and what it's going to cost. At a certain point, the city, and I've made these recommendations to the last administration, I also made a recommendation to this administration. You have to take a look and negotiate with them. Have we ever negotiated with them first for the police department? I'm asking that question, Mayor. Have we negotiated with them?
Chief, as you know, I've been the mayor for exactly a little over 1 year, and we've been under state control since I've been mayor, and I haven't been afforded the opportunity as mayor to negotiate with anyone, with the police department. I haven't been a part of those conversations, so I can't answer that, and you don't know that.
I can answer.
Well, under this administration, it's not been afforded the opportunity because of state control.
We have only negotiated with the police department. And the fire department doesn't have to give anything up, does not have to give any concessions, because they automatically get what the police department does. That's bad business.
Local 73 President Dan Clark released a statement saying, in part, pay parity is being targeted not because it is bad business, but because it increases the cost of every pay raise the police department negotiates for itself. Clark emphasized, Local 73 has no quarrel with rank-and-file SLMPD officers. Firefighters work alongside them on the same scenes facing the same dangers. As an example of firefighters being targeted, it was 6 years ago this week that 4 police officers were shot and injured during riots and looting downtown. St. Louis firefighters also took fire, and rioters rolled barrels into the streets to block fire crews and randomly fired shots while they tried to fight several fires. Clark says the issue the union has is with any effort to undermine a voter-approved protection for more than a half century. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
It's 7:25. Illinois' outgoing senior senator Dick Durbin says it's perplexing why President Trump has sent a delegation to Russia to talk about economic development. Secretary of State Marco Rubio seemed to be in the dark about the meeting.
I'm not aware of the delegation that went. I know I'm aware of the event. I know they were hosting one, but I don't think it would have been a high-level official.
Durbin also questioned the timing since Russia was bombing Ukraine while the Ukrainians were in St. Petersburg attacking some of Russia's oil infrastructure.
I'm not sure what level it is, but to think that we had anything official, and it included Steven Seagal, the actor, is one of the people representing the United States. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with who he is.
I am too.
Yeah.
This comes during the week of the Russian Davos.
OpenAI chief Sam Altman, a St. Louis native, spent the day in D.C. meeting with lawmakers and White House officials as Congress weighs how to regulate artificial intelligence. One issue following him everywhere, the data centers that power AI and the rising electric bills many Americans blame on them.
Walking in to meet Senator Bernie Sanders, here is Altman saying he gets the worry.
Directionally, I think I understand the concern about data centers. I don't think data centers should push up ratepayers' electricity, and I don't think they should be in a place where people don't want them. But we have a huge country, and there's a lot of places we can put data centers and build enough electricity that I think everybody can be happy.
Close to home, Ackerman signed deals this year to power several big data centers, and it's building new gas plants partly to feed them. State rules say the data centers, not everyday customers, must cover the cost, though regulators warn bills could still climb.
Gas prices continue to be a big story and a big concern for consumer spending. Dave Simons of One Private Wealth tells Chris and Amy the price of airline tickets keeps going up because fuel is the single biggest expense for them.
The airlines used to hedge this a lot. They would go out into the oil market. They'd play options and look at futures. They don't do that as much anymore. So they're not hedging like they once did because, frankly, we haven't had oil prices sit above $100 a barrel for a long time.
An Illinois official is warning travelers to be on the lookout while booking summer vacations.
As summer gets into swing, lots of travelers are booking vacations and lots of scammers are on the prowl.
Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is advising residents to compare prices before booking things like flights or hotels, and to check the cancellation and refund policies before paying, as he says missing or vague policies are often signs of a scam. For flyers, Raoul reminds travelers that the U.S. Department of Transportation requires airlines to issue refunds when people's flights are canceled or significantly delayed. If you believe an airline failed to refund or reimburse you, you can file a complaint with the federal department. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
It is going on 728. The time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Anheuser-Busch is a great place. Last week, it was a week ago today, we had to capacity, a crowd of Cardinals fans packing into the beer garden to see Ozzie Smith, Matt Adams, and Al Raboski. Man, that was fun. Well, get ready for this. I'm not sure what's better than watching Team USA in the World Cup. The FIFA World Cup 26. Watching it with an ice-cold beer in your hand, that's probably a little bit better. There is no better place to do both of those things than at the beer garden at Anheuser-Busch. A huge TV. Every seat in the house is great. The beer is cold. Bring your crew early. Take a tour. Listen to some live music, and then settle in for all the action. Here are the prices of the Mick Ultras. $15 pitchers, $20 buckets, $5 drafts in collectible FIFA cups while supplies last. Visit BudweiserTours.com and experience USA soccer at the beer garden.
If you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
It is 7:30. We do have partly sunny skies. It's 63 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're still working this crash with injuries westbound 255 on the JB Bridge, folks. The left lane is blocked. Traffic's jammed west of Route 3 Columbia because of it. We have a new crash blocking the through lanes of North 55. Just before the Highway Z exit, you can use the exit lane to get around the crash, but it's jammed back to McNutt on northbound 55 right now. You still have the backup due to the road work eastbound 44 east of Six Flags now, but it's still congested all the way into 109. There's slow traffic from Miraz up to the Merrimack. There's a minor crash on the shoulder there. And then it's bogged down again approaching Lindbergh. Midway between Lindbergh and Big Bend, we have an incident involving a semi. They have the right lane blocked for it. North 270, Doherty Ferry to Manchester, and north of there up to Ladou's, pretty busy. Southbound 61, midway down from P to Wentzville Parkway down onto 70. Toward Highway A is pretty busy. 64 slow. Clarkson to Timberlake briefly at the Interbelt. Westbound 64, McCausland, Hanley, seeing some volume there. Eastbound 70 east of the Blanchard into 270 slow. And we have a jam on westbound 5570, 255. Midway to 111, but the traffic remains heavy through 111 due to road work. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be really nice today, a little hotter and more humid than yesterday, but just sun and clouds with a high of 87. Then tomorrow, a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 88. Saturday, 91 with a stray thunderstorm. It's partly sunny now and 63 downtown.
It's 7:32. At the request of Mayor Kara Spencer, the Board of Police Commissioners is postponing a vote on giving raises to command staff until their next meeting on the 17th. Spencer said the city was not told of these raises until 36 hours before the meeting, adding pay parity with the fire department has forced them to scramble ahead of the July 1st budget deadline.
The finalization of the city's budget is now in chaos.
Board President Chris Saraceno says while he understands the delay, he is still disappointed.
The men and women of our command staff have gone well and above and earned every a raise.
Chief of Police Robert Tracy says recent raises that did not include the command staff have imbalanced their pay scale so much some officers would get a pay cut taking a promotion.
The caregiver of 3 elderly adults who were left in a hot van has been sentenced. 31-year-old Alexis Daggs sentenced yesterday to 3 years in prison. A year and a half after she left the 3 in a van in St. Peter's, police say the internal temperature of that van reached 130 degrees. All 3 survived thanks to a shopper who notified police.
Several big St. Louis area school districts passed their latest highway patrol bus inspections with flying colors.
Major districts, including Afton, Kirkwood, Lindbergh, and St. Charles, had every single one of their buses pass with 0 marked defective or out of service. Parkway schools recorded a near perfect 98.1% approval rate on the 105 buses that troopers inspected. Parkway Fleet Manager Travis Warren tells KMOX.
We always strive to get the Fleet Excellence Award every year. It's kind of a badge of honor. And for however many years that we've been doing it, I mean, we've only not gotten it twice in over probably 30, 35 years. So it's always something we strive to get and maintain, just, to show that our district is one of the best and safest fleets out there.
Meantime, more than 800 school buses across the state failed their inspections. Rittner had a 25% failure rate. Ladue had 20.8% fail. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It is 7:34, and the news is sponsored for you by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I've been burned before. I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without going over budget, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
7:36, your Money Minute, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Fittingly, for a company whose ultimate goal is to send humans to the stars, SpaceX's initial public offering is stratospheric. The rocket, satellite, and artificial intelligence company's plan for a blockbuster listing is unprecedented in modern history. At $75 billion, SpaceX's IPO easily topped Saudi Aramco's record $29 billion listing in 2019. Checking on the market, stocks are heading for a lower open on a disappointing financial outlook from AI chipmaker Broadcom. Plus, there has been no recent progress in talks between the U.S. and Iran, which is weighing on shares. And tech companies announced the most job cuts in May in nearly 2 years as they ramp up spending on artificial intelligence. The tech sector said last month that it planned to eliminate more than 38,000 positions, according to data from outplacement firm Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. So far this year, the industry has announced more than 123,000 job cuts. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Drama and passion of Tennessee Williams, A Streetcar Named Desire at Opera Theater of St. Louis. Experience an electrifying production with a powerful score and unforgettable characters in a tale of desires, secrets, and shattered illusions. The sweltering heat on stage will make for a dramatic summer evening. Performances run June 7th through 26th, and tickets start at just $25. Visit experienceopera.org for details and tickets.
I was thinking of all the things in my garage right now. First of all, of course, garage is for cars. We have one car in there. I used to do a show in there. Remember that? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis sponsored that. They were my first sponsor of the Garage Happy Hour. Anyway, we also have chairs. We have basketballs. We have, bags of soil. We have bikes. We have all kinds of stuff. Fishing equipment. My point is this. That garage, trash cans that we got to take out, recycling, the garage door goes up and down constantly. I mean, up and down, it goes multiple times a day. That's a lot of times it moves throughout the year. And how many times do we get it tuned up? Once. How many times do you get your garage door tuned up? Probably should do it at least once. Annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, 26-point tune-up, one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. We have one garage door, and we love Overhead Door Company of St. Louis when they come over and tune it up. They've been doing it for 100 years. They started in 1926. They are never going to steer you wrong. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, overheaddoorslouis.com.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Chrysalis Biosciences in Sauget, Illinois is hiring for multiple roles. Join a fast-growing ethanol plant transforming renewable energy with competitive pay, benefits, and growth opportunities. Apply today and grow your career with Chrysalis at chrysalisbio.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
7:40 and time for traffic and weather. Roger Brand starts us here. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center with the latest on your ride in.
Well, it's a little rough on the south side right now, Debbie. This traffic report's a service of the United Way of Greater St. Louis, helpingpeople.org. We have this crash westbound 255 on the JB Bridge. Left lanes closed, 2 right lanes open. Traffic's a solid jam west of Route 3 Columbia. Still the road work going on 44. Not quite as bad, but it's still backed up east of Six Flags into 109. That right lane remains closed, 2 left lanes open. It's also slow approaching Bowles to 270. We had a minor crash there earlier, and we also had an incident east of Lindbergh. It's kind of slow both sides of Lindbergh as well. Another trouble spot I mentioned in the last report is this injury crash northbound 55 just before the Highway Z exit. Only the exit lane is open. The 2 through lanes are shut down. Traffic's jammed midway between A and McNutt on North 55. So I want to talk about your USPS Ground Advantage reliable route. Take 6167 as soon as you can get off. There are no delays on 6167 all the way through that stretch. Definitely save you some time. North 270, Big Bend up to Ladou's busy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down to 64 or 70. 64 slow through the Chesterfield Parkways and at the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton through Bellevue's kind of busy. And on the Illinois side, roadwork delays westbound 5570, 255 through 111. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
When our neighbors need support, United Way brings people together, helping families, helping children, helping people through everyday challenges, and building hope for tomorrow. Unite with us at helpingpeople.org.
Oh, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. This has been a great week to get outside, and I think today's no different.
It looks like another good one. It's not going to rain today. The humidity stays fairly low. There'll be enough sunshine to get to 87. It gets a little warmer this afternoon than recent days, but, this is June. That's to be expected. Partly cloudy tonight, though, just 71. There'll be some sunshine tomorrow. It'll be very warm, and you'll feel the difference in the humidity levels, and that could be enough for a thunderstorm to wander through in the afternoon, the high 88. Saturday's pretty much the same story, just a little hotter. Partly sunny, hot, humid, 91. A stray thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Sunday gets a little cloudier, and I think the growing chance for showers and a thunderstorm, especially for the afternoon, the high 85. Monday looks unsettled. Scattered showers and a thunderstorm, humid, the high about 84. It's up to 66 now at St. Peter's, 69 in Florissant, 70 with some sun downtown at the Arch. From the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is now 7:43, and rulings on some of the most highly anticipated cases of the Supreme Court's term have yet to be handed down. One would be birthright citizenship. President Trump signed that order that would deny U.S. citizenship to millions of babies born to non-citizen parents. Federal judges put that order on hold, but the Supreme Court will definitively decide whether Trump can end birthright citizenship and redefine who becomes an American at birth. ABC News senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer, who covers the high court, has spoken to moms of newborns who fear the court could rule their children are stateless.
There is a real concern that some children born to these immigrants could lose their U.S. citizenship and become stateless. They were born here. If it's taken away, they simply would not have any documents from any country. They would essentially become undocumented and become separated from their families, theoretically, and certainly would have a very hard time establishing citizenship somewhere. And so that's a very real scenario and concern that I heard in a number of conversations.
Last night, Cardinal baseball at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals trying to salvage a game in the 3-game series against the Texas Rangers, and they jumped early. Alec Burleson with an RBI single in the first. That made it 1-0. And then Burley is up there again in a 1-1 game in the third.
And there's a line drive, base hit to right field. The Cardinals are going to score 2. Burleson rounding first. He's going to second. And he slides in safely. Burleson with his 15th double of the year. And he has all 3 Cardinal RBIs as they lead 3-1 here in the third inning.
Matt Pauley, when you need an offensive boost, you call on the Silver Slugger.
In a 5-3 win against the Rangers, the middle of the Cardinals order really comes through. The 3-4-5 hitter combination of Jordan Walker, Nelson Velasquez, and Alec Burleson combined to go 7 for 11, with each hitter collecting multiple hits. If you add in the 2-hitter Ivan Herrera and the 6-hitter Jose Fermin, 2 through 6 account for 9 of the club's 11 hits. Manager Oliver Marmol happy with that part of the order.
They moved it forward today. A lot of contact, good approach. I liked what we saw out of those guys. And then some big knocks with 2 outs as well. Nelly had one, Burley had one, so JC as well. But overall, I felt like we executed well tonight.
The club goes 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position, and 3 players collect 2-out RBIs. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
And Matt, a nice little treat for fans coming in for this weekend series against the Reds. Lars Nootbaar is expected to be activated tomorrow after missing most of the last, 6 months. After undergoing off-season heel surgery, he has been working back into it in the minor leagues and looks to be ready to go. It is a big weekend. You have the Battlehawks playing on Sunday night at 5 o'clock in a playoff game. You got on Saturday the World Cup friendly between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Panama. That'll be going on at Energizer Park. And then to wrap up the weekend, at 8:25, the green flag drops at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
And here comes Pato O'Ward. Malukas is out in front.
Side by side behind.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Malukas has to defend from Rosenquist. Great run off the final corner. Here comes Rosenquist. Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be? It's Rosenquist.
Felix Rosenquist winning the Indianapolis 500, closest Indy 500 ever. IndyCar is hot right now because of that finish. A lot of people paying attention to the sport, and they'll all be here in Madison, Illinois for the race on Sunday night. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Roger Penske and his team will be in Madison, Illinois. GM Chris Blair.
Well, anytime you do anything with Roger, he raises the bar. No matter what it is, he raises the bar and the level of expectations. And, we've always viewed everything we do at Worldwide Technology Raceway as a personal representation of ourselves. But when you then throw the Roger Penske factor in there, we want to make sure Roger isn't disappointed. We want to make sure that when Roger leaves there, he's nodding that, good job to us and our team. So having him involved as the owner of the IndyCar Series, and now with everything we're doing with Fox and being a primetime network race, it makes us work even harder than what we have in the past just to be the best that we can possibly be.
Indeed. Sports will be all over Fox in St. Louis on Sunday. The Battlehawks game is on Fox at 5, followed by the IndyCar race at Worldwide Technology Raceway at 8:25. The ins and outs are sponsored by Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. Innsbruck's a great place. If you're not involved in sports this weekend and you want to just kick back and relax, you can do nothing at Innsbruck and just, put your feet up and have a cocktail or a coffee in the morning, whatever you want to do, right on your lake at your lake home at Innsbruck. Yes, it is that close. 45 minutes from most places here in the St. Louis area, an hour from downtown. It's in the forests of Warren County, I like to say. 7,500 acres, 100 plus lakes. Just an incredible place to unwind. Innsbruck. We'll be going there pretty soon for a nice little summer weekend. Innsbruck-resort.com if you want to learn more. Innsbruck-resort.com. Now, for our parlay of the day, which is sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be, I have to say, what have I been saying for the last few weeks now? The New York Knicks are going to win the NBA title. I had a few people tell me that they heard me say that. I've had a few people raise an eyebrow on that because the San Antonio Spurs are the favorite in this series. Well, what happened last night? The New York Knicks come back again. They were down 14 in the second half. They win it by 10, 105-95. I'm here to tell you, folks, that the Knicks are in business. They're going to do this. They have a game against San Antonio again on the road, and then they come home to Madison Square Garden. If the Spurs aren't careful, they're going to get swept. But I have the Knicks winning in 6. So if you want to look at this next game, and I would highly suggest it, I'm just telling you, the Knicks are a 6-point dog. Have they not learned anything here? I think the Spurs will win game 2, but they're not going to cover 6. Victor Wembanyama, did you see him dribble one off his foot late in the game? Pressure's getting to him a little bit. It's an incredible player, but he was 6 of 21 from the floor. Knicks +6, Knicks to win it all in 6. That's our parlay of the day. Sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join KMOX and Community American Credit Union for a free evening of fun as they celebrate the grand opening of their new De Beers branch June 4th from 5 till 7 p.m. It'll be a great time. You could win swag from the big ATM, the Amazing Things machine, meet Cardinals alumni, get a photo with Fred Bird, plus free food, entertainment, and more. And a chance to come on out and say hi to Chris Ronchi from the Chris and Amy Show. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:52. Let's check the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've still got our issues on the south side, Debbie. They're still working this injury crash northbound 55 just before Highway Z. Only the exit lane is getting by. The 2 through lanes are blocked, so it's sort of snaking by. The crash scene, traffic's jammed between A and McNutt on northbound 55. Still working the crash westbound 255. Left lane shut down on the JB Bridge. Traffic's jammed west of Route 3 Columbia. Eastbound 44, east of Six Flags to 109. Still heavy. The right lane's closed for roadwork as you approach 109. It's slow from 141 in pockets in through Lindbergh due to a couple of earlier issues. Northbound 270, Doherty Ferry up to Ladue is heavy. South 270, Olive to Ladue is slow. Southbound 61, midway between P and 64 is heavy. The ramp from 61 on eastbound 70 is heavy traffic. Then it's just a little busy at our city. 64 looks good till you get east of Lindbergh. Just a couple of slow spots, not that bad. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, you've got slow stuff. And downtown westbound 64, approaching 25th Street to the Poplars, some heavy pockets. And westbound 5570, Black Lane through 111, and eastbound 203 midway to 111, you have roadwork backups. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Tour Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
As for our weather, Roger, it looks fantastic. We're going to be just a little more humid this afternoon, a little warm, high 87, but it's summer. Sunshine and some clouds, partly cloudy, low 71. Yes, it is summer. I know. Don't tell me it's mid-June. June 1st is when summer starts, according to me. Times of sun and clouds tomorrow. It'll be rather humid tomorrow. Thunderstorm around in the afternoon, a high of 88. Currently, we have a cloudy sky and 66 downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:53. There have been thousands of complaints against ICE detention centers, including lack of medical care and food, overcrowding, and abuse. Congresswoman Ann Wagner says no, they get health care and 3 meals a day. Congressman Wesley Bell and Nikki Budzinski recently toured the ICE facility in St. Genevieve. Wagner agreed with KFDK host Mark Cox that they are lying about the conditions there.
It's absolutely, they're getting their clickbait. They raise low dollar donor funds with this stuff. But again, we are the party of law and order, and supporting our federal officers is an absolute duty.
Absolute duty, she said. Bell traveled to an ICE detention center in Louisiana this week, trying to find a Maplewood man who was taken by ICE despite having permission to be in the country.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt says he landed $350 million in the Republican conciliation bill for ICE to arrest immigrants who walk free when local jails decline to hand them to federal agents. Schmidt calls it common sense enforcement.
We should be able to do that. ICE is now going to have the resources and the ability to go do that. That's a big win.
Democrats oppose the broader ICE funding.
When it comes to income, Illinois fares well. According to a new Wallet Hub survey, Illinois ranks 9th in the nation for states where people have the highest incomes. That's based on 3 key metrics: average income for the top 5%, the average for the bottom 20%, and the median income for all residents. The top earning states: Virginia at number 1, followed by New York, New Jersey, Washington, and Connecticut. Missouri ranked 23rd.
Illinois' ban on swipe fees gets pushed back another year.
Swipe fees, or the added fees on taxes and tips, have been a topic of debate in the Illinois State House for 2 years now. A ban on the fees was passed in 2024 with the start date of July of 2025. But during last year's session, lawmakers pushed the date back a year, and during this year's session, they did the same. Credit card companies say they can't separate the tax and tip part of the fees, and that the ban could result in credit card chaos in Illinois. That's according to Capital News, Illinois. Although lawmakers originally pushed for the measure to alleviate budget pressure, they seem to be at a standstill on the issue as of right now. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
It is 7:56.
When it comes to your hearing, you deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Artistic Decks. For 26 years, we've been making dreams affordable in the St. Louis area. With an A+ BBB rating, we're the team you can trust. Let us build your dream deck. Artistic Decks. For a free consultation, call us at 314-280-0821.
Let's check back in with Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, there's still no change with our troubles on the south side. We still have this crash northbound 55 just before Highway Z. Only the exit lane is sneaking around the injured crash. Traffic is jammed midway between A and McNutt on northbound 55. Still trying to wrap up this crash westbound 255 on the JB Bridge. Left lane shut down there. Traffic's jammed at least midway back to Route 3 Columbia. Northbound Route 3 has a jam coming up for North Main Street to 255 as well. So tough traffic all the way around. 44 still a little slow approaching 109 in Eureka. And then it's heavy east of 141 in pockets through Lindbergh. Next update at 8:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Thursday, June the 4th. I'm Debbie Monterrey. Missouri could welcome more than 500,000 visitors for World Cup games in Kansas City. After the news, Megan Lynch talks to the head of sports tourism at Visit Missouri.
Even if there's a deal to end the war in Iran soon, analysts say we've gone beyond the point where gas prices will immediately drop.
You depend on school buses to keep your kids safe. Michael Calhoun has the latest on state bus inspections.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today, warming up to 87.
I'm Tom Ackerman. What a great sports weekend we have. Can't wait to see you all at various events throughout the area. It is coming up on 8 o'clock. Megan Lynch is next on Total Information AM.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The president this morning calling for Republicans who voted in favor of a war powers resolution in the House grandstanders. Those 4 votes, along with all the Democrats, enough to pass the resolution for the first time since the war with Iran began. Some worries among ranchers after a parasite that hasn't been seen in the U.S. since the 1970s was confirmed in a calf in South Texas. The New World screwworm devastated the Texas cattle industry 50 years ago, but Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says
this pest does not cause any sort of a food safety issue. It is not a disease, but simply an insect that feeds on living tissues. Animals treated early enough will recover and are safe to enter the food supply system.
The ranch where it was found is under quarantine. There are concerns it could push up beef prices. And the New York Knicks go to San Antonio and come back to beat the Spurs in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Game 2 is tomorrow night in San Antonio. This is ABC News. In Aiken, South Carolina, police say a trucker named Anthony Moore helped stop a kidnapping. ABC's Hannah Battah has the story of the young woman who stopped that truck driver, saying she had been abducted.
She ran to Moore's big rig, begging for help.
She said, he has my phone and my diploma. I said, your diploma? She said, yes, sir. She said, I just graduated yesterday.
Moore says the young woman had been walking between her parents' houses when the man approached her, claiming to be law enforcement, and forced her into his car. When he pulled onto a dirt road and headed toward the trunk of his car, she saw her chance to escape. Despite being handcuffed behind her back, she told Moore she managed to wiggle herself across the back seat and out the driver's door and ran.
Iranian-French cartoonist and filmmaker Marjane Satrapi has died. She was a fierce advocate for women's rights. She produced the graphic novel and film Persepolis, a coming-of-age tale set against the Islamic Revolution, the film version debuting at Cannes in 2007, which Iranian authorities protested. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 8:02, we have cloudy skies, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Thursday, June 4th. I'm Megan Lynch. Did the police commanders and civilian employees in St. Louis receive a raise at yesterday's board meeting?
The state-appointed board approved the raises for the civilian staff, but tabled the vote on command staff raises for 2 weeks at the urging of Mayor Kara Spencer. Her issue, the city was blindsided by the raises announced earlier this week and needs to amend their budget.
We made provisions for 7% for our lieutenants and above, recognizing that that percentage, that increase did not apply to the leadership of the police department. Under no circumstance were we made aware in any way, shape, or form that we would be tripling that.
Board President Chris Saraceno says Chief of Police Robert Tracy is demanding excellence from his leaders, and they are delivering.
For that in itself, they earn their not only their rank, but their compensation.
Tracy says their command staff are severely underpaid, pointing to Kansas City, who pays tens of thousands of dollars more. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Another issue raised yesterday was the law mandating the police and fire department have pay parity. It's something that's frustrating Chief of Police Robert Tracy, who says they're constantly asked to give concessions the fire department doesn't have to make.
The mayor has asked us to address the benefits program as far as how, for retirees, and how can we work that in. If we're being asked to look at those things, once again, another concession, but why not looking at concessions to break parity?
Tracy points to last year's raises, which the fire department also received without the reduction in budgeted strength the police department conceded. Tracy says he has the utmost respect for the fire department, but the parity is hurting their ability to pay competitive wages.
And I love the firemen, and I want the best. And I'm like, hey, pay them as much as you can, but make sure you're not holding the police department back.
Asked about the pay parity rule, Mayor Spencer says her priority is the current budget, and it's not being considered. A bill that would raise city water rates passed out of committee yesterday. Under the proposal, bills would go up gradually over the next 8 years. The first 2 years of increases are 18%, then 6% a year after that. The city water division says the move is necessary because the department will run out of funding by the end of the year. The bill now heads to the full Board of Aldermen for a vote. Usually on the same side of things, the Missouri Association of Realtors spending a lot of money hoping to defeat Governor Kehoe's top priority, eliminating the state income tax. Realtors so far have spent nearly $2 million opposing Amendment 5, which voters statewide will get a crack at in August. According to Scott Charton with Missourians for Fair Taxation, the realtors call Amendment 5 the everything tax. That's because eliminating the state income tax might mean raising sales taxes on everything, including items and services that aren't taxed now. There's also concern it could affect a constitutional ban on taxing real estate transfers. There are questions as to why two young boys, 17 and 14, have been released to their parents after allegedly trying to break into cars.
The latest incident happened around 1 o'clock Wednesday morning, but this is not an isolated incident. In recent days, there's been a surge of car break-ins in more than one area of the city. Wednesday morning's incident was in Tower Grove South. Residents called 911. When police arrived, they found a group of suspects checking door handles, allegedly trying to break into cars. The teens then ran. Police say they were able to detain 17 and 14-year-old boys, and the older one had a gun. Officers contacted juvenile detention, but they declined to hold the teenagers and release them to their parents. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The caregiver of 3 elderly adults who were left in a hot van has been sentenced. 31-year-old Alexis Daggs sentenced yesterday to 3 years in prison, a year and a half after she left the individuals in a van in St. Peter's that police said reached 130 degrees. All 3 victims survived thanks to a shopper who noticed them. As the number of naloxone orders in Missouri increases, the number of overdose deaths in the state is decreasing. That's according to the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, which says there's been a statewide increase in Medicaid claims for naloxone in recent years, often referred to as Narcan. The drug is known for reversing opioid overdoses. The department says there were more than 11,000 orders placed for naloxone last year. They also say there was a 25% decrease in the amount of opioid deaths in 2025, making the third year of a decrease in opioid deaths in the state. Tennis players beware. Pickleball players are taking over St. Louis this weekend. Players from the city's professional pickleball team, St. Louis Shock, Kate Fahey and Anna Bright joined KMOX's Chris and Amy yesterday morning. They were both collegiate tennis players before transitioning to pickleball, with Fahey saying she first learned about the sport when her local tennis court was converted into a pickleball court in 2017.
I would say tennis players aren't too happy about the conversion. There's definitely some sort of rivalry between tennis and pickleball. Me personally, I think the two can coexist at the same time.
St. Louis Shock players competed in a scrimmage against the Southern California Hard Eights yesterday, kicking off the 4-day-long Major League Pickleball Tournament at Chaffetz Arena. We're going to talk about soccer coming up next on Total Information AM. We're expecting more than 500,000 visitors in the Kansas City area. Jim Rowland, Visit Missouri National Account Manager for Sports Tourism, is going to join me in just a moment. Plus traffic and weather. It's 8:08.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
The pitch. Mason Wynn hits it hard. Deep left field. That ball's out of here.
Community America Credit Union has been helping people like you and me, shortstop Mason Wynn, to win big for 85 years. Cash back with your free checking. Win. No service fees or minimum balance. Win. Bank anywhere, anytime with their app. Win. So yeah, with Community America, you can win. And so can I. Mason Wynn. Community America Credit Union. Invested in St. Louis, invested in you.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's see how your morning commute is going. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we've still got our trouble on northbound 55 with this crash just south of Highway Z. Still only the exit lane to Z getting by the crash. In fact, they had all lanes shut down temporarily. We're still jammed midway between A and McNutt on northbound 55. Good news, they cleared that crash westbound 255 in the JB Bridge. Just a short backup west of Route 3 Columbia through there. It's thinning out pretty quickly. Eastbound 44 looks pretty good at 109 now. There's still slow traffic bowls up to the Merrimack and a little busy at Lindbergh from earlier troubles. North 270, Manchester up to Ladue, still busy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway getting onto eastbound 70, still backed up. But once you get on the highway, you're in great shape. Eastbound 64, still some slow stuff. East of Lindbergh to Big Bend. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. Downtown westbound 64, west of 25th Street to the Poplar slow. And westbound 5570 has bogged down traffic from 111 through 203. And eastbound midway in between those 2 points is also congested due to construction. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Another nice day today with sunshine and some clouds. A bit warmer and more humid for the afternoon. High 87. Partly cloudy and warm tonight, low 71. Times of sun and clouds tomorrow, becoming very warm and a little bit on the humid side. Could lead to a thunderstorm at the afternoon, high 88. Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid. A chance of a thunderstorm, best chance in the afternoon. Saturday's high 91. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We have cloudy skies, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Kansas City, Missouri, one of only 11 cities in the U.S. hosting FIFA World Cup games this year, the only city in the Midwest. Joining me in studio this morning is Jim Rowland, Visit Missouri's National Account Manager for Sports Tourism. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All these soccer fans here in St. Louis are
berserk.
super excited about what is coming up. How many visitors are we expecting in Missouri through these World Cup games?
You know, the original bid, the information we got back from FIFA was somewhere in the neighborhood of 650,000 people. Obviously, there are things happening in the world that are beyond our control, but we still anticipate a large audience.
Do you know how many of those will be local folks, meaning Missouri, and how many might be coming internationally?
Yeah, I think the international visitors, we're anticipating somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000-ish. It could rise and fall. I mean, if the cards are perfectly aligned, there is a possibility that Ronaldo will meet Messi in a quarterfinal match at Kansas City Stadium, formerly known as Arrowhead. But that would be possibly one of the biggest matches in World Cup history. So
it's going to be
all
hopping.
bets are off.
Yeah, I would imagine people would just attend even if they didn't have tickets to get inside.
And I think that's the experience of World Cup, is that it is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Last time it was here was 1994. Out of 1994 came MLS. So this is an unbelievable opportunity. As you know, Megan, the St. Louis has this rich history of soccer. Kansas City has exploded in recent years. Trivia, Kansas City, the metro area, hosts the largest youth soccer association in the United States. 70,000 young people participate in youth soccer in the Kansas City metro area. So soccer's exploded across the state of Missouri, with new facilities opening up all over the place. Springfield, Boonville, you have all of the great places in St. Louis with Creve Coeur, Lou Hughes, Scott Gallagher. So it's really an exciting time for sports in general, but specifically soccer in the state of Missouri.
I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I saw a figure this week that was saying that around 10% of World Cup participants have been St. Louis natives.
Wow.
That
would be amazing. But
that would be
I don't
amazing.
know if it's true or not, but we'll make it true, right?
And of course, we've got St. Louis's Tim Ream.
Yes. Captain of the U.S. men's national team. Yes.
Yeah. And we've got those members of that 1950 World Cup team, so St. Louis has a lot to be proud of in this. When you look at the impact on not just Kansas City, but the state of Missouri to host an event like this, and one that extends for basically a month, what's that mean economically for this state?
Well, the economics are off the charts. I mean, sports are the one thing that you can have all three of the vital component. You can have economic impact, you have emotion, and you have that whole social, that community that gathers together to celebrate. And it's only sports that can do that. It's a incredible opportunity. We believe that we're going to draw from the greater Midwest, the upper plains a lot. Those international travelers coming in. The Argentina consulate was with him just a few weeks ago. He thinks 100,000 Argentinians are going to come to Missouri. So again, just an incredible opportunity that you couldn't possibly replicate other than with this.
What do we know if we get someone to come visit? What do we know about their likelihood to come back as a visitor again?
We know that the international visitors, they're here to watch soccer. Our goal, our belief is that, they're going to see Missouri in a whole new light and come back. We've got the mix of everything that anybody could want. We hear that all the time from our surveys, from our data coming in about our good neighbors that are coming to visit us. Now we're expanding that good neighbors to the world.
And Route 66. I understand that's already a great international draw anyway.
Number one question that the international operators were asking us as we traveled to Netherlands, to Argentina, to England, what about Route 66?
That's fantastic. That's Americana right there.
That's Americana. That's what they want. They want to experience America in all of its just natural phenomenon. So yeah, the fact that it's the anniversary of Route 66, the anniversary of Tom Sawyer's release of the book Tom Sawyer. I mean, just all of these stars aligning is really a great opportunity for us.
Now, as a practical matter for St. Louis fans that want to get to Kansas City, what do they need to know about that drive, arriving in Kansas City? What kind of events are going to be there for them?
I think part of the issue or part of the problem was that people thought, oh, this is the biggest event. We can't possibly. Listen, Kansas City Stadium, Arrowhead Stadium, we host we host games like this all the time. Matter of fact, Arrowhead will be shrunk down to about 60 to 65,000. We did that every week for forever. I mean, as a former chief executive for Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium, the events inside the complex, a piece of cake. Transportation will look a little different, security will look a little different, but it's not going to be, it's that big number of people spread out, as you said, over 30 days. So it's not like this giant, influx of human beings are going to be in Kansas City, in the state of Missouri, all at once. It's going to be spread out over a long period of time. We'll be able to accommodate anybody. Fan Festival is free. I was on the original board for KC 2026, the local organizing committee. We absolutely insisted upon a free experience so that everyone could engage. Some people might not be able to afford tickets, to the matches, but we wanted them to be able to experience the energy, the vibe of the world's largest sporting event.
How can folks get more information? What are the sites they need to go to?
Visitmo.com is a great source of information. We have everything that you'd want to know about Missouri and tourism, but also all of the details about KC 2026, the World Cup matches. Again, this is an incredible opportunity. I'll give you one piece of trivia that just blows my mind on occasions. We think the Super Bowl is a big deal, right? 150 million people watch the Super Bowl. The World Cup finals will be viewed by 2.5 billion people simultaneously. Incredible.
What do we know about when we successfully pull off events like this in the tourism industry? What's that mean for the future of bidding for and attracting events?
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. We're in the middle of bidding for Women's World Cup for 2031.
Oh, love it.
FIFA has a really high level of confidence in the state of Missouri and in Kansas City. We believe we have a great opportunity to win that bid and to bring Women's World Cup to, well, think about this. I mean, KC Current and the development of their facility, the first purpose-built women's professional soccer stadium, is just life-changing for us and for women's sports. It's really started that first domino to fall, and now others are following. Denver's going to be building a women's specific building. That didn't go unnoticed by all of the folks at FIFA, all of the folks of the National Women's Soccer League. So that was a huge boom for us. That was a statement about where we think soccer is in the state of Missouri. So that's a big draw to FIFA. It was a big draw to Netherlands to choose the Current's training facility as their home base. We managed to get 4 base camps in the Kansas City metropolitan area. No one else has that many base camps. So we're on the rise. I think the potential is unlimited as far as other bids, other opportunities that we can pull off. The largest sporting event in the world, is a statement. It's a statement about us in sports. It's a statement about the state of Missouri, Kansas City, St. Louis having the Olympic, qualifying matches at Energizer Park. Again, another feather in our cap. I think it's limitless.
Jim, thank you so much. Appreciate you spending time with us.
Thanks, Megan. Appreciate it.
That is Jim Rowland, Visit Missouri's National Account Manager for Sports Tourism, joining us here on KMOX. It is now 8:20. Make sure you stay with KMOX. We're going to continue our World Cup previews. Chris and Amy are going to have Bill McDermott, Mr. Soccer, on at 11:30 this morning. If you don't have a radio nearby, just remember you can always take us with you with your smartphone and the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Just put your earbuds in. Your boss will never know you're listening to KMOX. Let's get a check of the roads for you now as you make your way into work. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, good news for 55 drivers. They cleared the crash at Highway Z. Lanes are open. Traffic still jammed, though, just north of A through McNutt, bumper to bumper solid, but it'll thin out because, like I said, all lanes are now open there. Eastbound 44, you've still got a little slow traffic between Bowles and Miraz, both sides of Lindbergh. Westbound 44, just before Hampton, they're working an injury crash. Traffic's jammed west of Kings Highway. Only the 2 left lanes are getting by there. North 270, Manchester up to Ladue, still busy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down onto the ramp to eastbound 70. There's still a backup there. Eastbound 64 is still slow east of Lindbergh to the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Clayton Skinker to Hanley is a little busy. And on the Illinois side, we still have heavy traffic westbound 64 3rd Street to the Poplar, and both directions of 255 between 203 and 111 are heavy. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're going to see a few more clouds today. It'll be warm and more humid this afternoon. Expect a high 87. We now have partly cloudy skies, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. Stay with us. We're going to talk about why an end to the Iran war might not bring gas prices down immediately.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
And you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for an unforgettable evening of music with the legendary, incomparable Bernadette Peters, legendary Tony Award-winning star of stage and screen. With her signature charisma and unmatched artistry, this one-night-only performance with your SLSO offers an intimate concert experience with one of musical theater's most luminous voices and a must-see event for Broadway and symphony fans alike. Don't miss an evening with Bernadette Peters, Friday, June 12th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Is your garage door past its prime? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renner's also hiring experienced techs and installers. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
You're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The Trump administration says Israel and Lebanon have made progress on a ceasefire agreement, although fighting did continue overnight. Iran has signaled that if the conflict could be halted between Israel and Hezbollah, it could smooth the path toward a deal to end the war. American consumers are hoping that means a drop in gasoline prices, but experts are skeptical. ABC's Stephen Portnoy spoke with Elizabeth Schulze, who covers economics, about the reasons for that skepticism.
We are now at a point where the world is literally running low on its reserves of oil. And we have been talking about now for months about how a huge supply of oil in the global market is basically stuck sitting on tankers in the Strait of Hormuz because those ships are not moving through the strait. 1/5 of the world's oil would go through the strait before the war, and a lot of that's pretty much still at a standstill. But the problem now is that as this is dragged into 3 months, a lot of the world's stockpile of oil, basically those reserves for a situation like this, are starting to run low. And we are starting to hear, Stephen, increasingly dire warnings from top oil executives from companies like Exxon and Chevron about how if this continues for another 3-4 weeks, if we go through the month of June without any movement through the strait, we could essentially start depleting the oil inventories across the world.
Yeah, a senior executive at ExxonMobil sounded the alarm on this at a conference last week.
We're approaching unheard of inventory levels. I mean, really, really low levels. You can debate whether that's going to hit those really low levels in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But once you get to that point, then you'll see price shoot up.
Okay, so it sounds like he's giving a pretty strong warning here about supply and demand.
And look, this sounds a little alarmist because we are still producing oil. So we're not saying here, Stephen, that we're going to run out of oil entirely, right? The U.S. is still pumping oil. Other countries are. That is going out into the global market. But the problem is, to help blunt some of this supply shock, we've been digging deeper into the reserves, into inventories. And that only lasts for so long. And why there are concerns is because at this point in the war, at this point in this crisis, there was really an expectation in the oil market that this would be resolved, and it's not. And if we continue to go on, there's no resolution and there's no way to kind of make up for this stockpile of oil that's been drained. At one point, you really do run into a place where that is a real different level of a shock to the global market. And, I think we should point out for the average person at home listening, we have actually seen gas prices go down in the past couple of weeks. The national average is closer right now to $4.20. We had been up around $4.50 just a few weeks ago. And a lot of that has been because we've seen oil prices come down on expectations that this would be resolved, that there would be a deal that would start to get that oil flowing again, that would be a path toward resolution. But now you've got President Trump saying, we might not see the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz end until Labor Day. You have oil executives warning that that means that oil is not going to get even close to the levels that it was moving before the war. And as that continues, that's where this pain could really start to enter kind of a next level where you could see gas prices tick up again. You could see oil prices go even higher. Let's keep in mind, though, Stephen, since the start of the Iran war at the start of March, the typical household, according to Moody's Analytics, has now paid an extra $450 in fuel-related expenses. And we have been talking to people across the country who say that is a very big difference in their budget.
That's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with Stephen Portnoy. Coming up on Total Information AM, what does the Missouri State Highway Patrol look for when they do school bus inspections? Michael Calhoun will have more coming up. It's 8:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman. We now have dates and times for the watch parties to see Team USA in the FIFA World Cup playing on a huge TV at the Beer Garden at Anheuser-Busch. Doesn't that sound good? Watching soccer with a cold beer in your hand. Here are the dates. June 12th at 8 p.m., they're going to have a live band there for the USA-Paraguay game. Then on June 19th at 2, USA against Australia. June 25th, a late one. Oh, that's a good one. I might go to that one. June 25th at 9 p.m., a live band at the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden, USA against Turkey. Huge TV. Every seat in the house is great. The beer is cold. Here are the prices for the beers. $15 Mick Ultra pitchers, $20 buckets, $5 drafts for Mick Ultra. In collectible FIFA cups while supplies last. Visit BudweiserTours.com and experience U.S. soccer at the Beer Garden.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure, clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Let's get you to work safely. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we still have a bit of a jam on northbound 55 from just north of A, most of the way up to McNutt, just due to the earlier crash we had at Highway Z. If you're on eastbound 44, still some slow stuff through Lindbergh Day. The right lane closed east of Lindbergh due to an incident with a tractor trailer from earlier. Still have the right lane closed westbound 44 just before Hampton. Injury crash, traffic jam back pretty close to Kings Highway. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down onto the ramp to eastbound 70 toward A. Still congestion there. Eastbound 64 still slow. East of Lindbergh through the Inner Belt. North 270, Manchester up to Ladue. That's heavy. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64, west of 3rd Street to the Poplar still backed up, and there's still slow traffic, primarily eastbound now on 5570, 203, most of the way in toward a Black Lane. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
What's the weather today? Well, from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we're finding out we'll see more clouds today and it will be more humid. A high of 87 degrees, partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 71. Right now, partly cloudy, 70 downtown at the Arch. The Missouri State Highway Patrol's annual school bus inspections are out. We wanted to know exactly what goes into keeping a district's fleet of big yellow buses ready for the road. KMOX's Michael Calhoun talks with Travis Warren, Transportation Operations and Fleet Manager for Parkway Schools.
Quite a lot. We have a normal maintenance schedule that we do PMs and all our maintenance on all our buses regularly that we track with a software. But we have 117 buses. So they all get checked regularly for all maintenance and everything. And then before we would do our highway patrol inspection, every bus is brought in and double checked and triple checked. And then if anything arises or comes up, we make sure we fix that right away.
It takes a lot to do transportation in-house.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big operation. I mean, we have 6 full-time mechanics, 85 drivers. We run quite a few routes, about 85 to 90 routes a year. So then we have a number of buses that are used for our spare buses or field trip buses. So it's quite a large operation. For we service about 30 schools.
It looks like more than 98% from the highway patrol, just 1% of the buses having issues. What are the typical, I guess, kinds of issues that a school bus might have?
They really check everything. They check it down to like the latch on the fire extinguisher. If there's a hole in the seat, they check, like stitching. They check if any fraying on like a seat belt, and then everything, engine underneath the bus, relay exhaust, brakes, tires, everything. So they thoroughly check all of it. Window buzzers, all safety equipment, everything. So they really nitpick all of it. And to have a 98% is quite good in my book for the size fleet we have. It's easy to do, with a 10 bus fleet or something, but with over 100 vehicles, it takes quite a good team to accomplish that. They can find big things like out of service items, which would be like a fuel leak or a tire issue or something, down to just like an advisory item, which could be just like a light bulb out. All they were able to find on our entire fleet was one adjustment on the brake, which we just quickly tightened the brake up a little bit, just on one wheel. It was a little bit loose, and then they found one blinker bulb that was burned out, and that's all they could find on us.
I think a lot of people can relate to that, taking their cars for the inspection, something like a blinker bulb, and it could be a simple fix, but
yep, we popped a new bulb in, and then they rechecked it real quick, and everything was good to go.
Parents, when they walk their kids to the bus stop in the morning starting this fall, or if they're going to summer school, what's your takeaway when it comes to the Parkway bus fleet?
I mean, our main thing is always safety of the students. So that is our main priority. And we make sure to diligently check everything all the time, constantly, to make sure we have the safest buses on the road at all times. And if we ever do find an issue, which does happen, things break, as you would know, that bus is out of service, and we have a spare bus in its place that is also safe. We do not, under any circumstances, send out anything that is safe or doesn't meet, DOT specs.
That is Michael Calhoun with Travis Warren of Parkway Schools. Coming up, we are going to get the latest snapshot of the regional economy from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Your Money Report now, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Five Below sounding the alarm on the American shopper. The discount retailer raised its full-year financial outlook, but is concerned about consumer sentiment due to rising fuel costs, very sticky inflation, and a somewhat softer labor market. Shares are tumbling in the early trade, but keep in mind sales soared 23% last quarter. Five Below benefiting from viral squishy dumplings that have gone viral on social media. The retailer adding it would draw lessons from the success of the product to drive store traffic in the future. Checking on the markets, the S&P 500 snapped a 9-day winning run yesterday, falling from a record high. This morning, losses continue. Futures are heading for a lower open. And tech companies announced the most job cuts in May in nearly 2 years as they ramp up spending on artificial intelligence. The tech sector planned to eliminate more than 38,000 positions. That's according to data from outplacement firm Challenger, Gray & Christmas. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than two?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
The road to the United Bowl starts here. Your St. Louis Battlehawks have clinched the playoffs and earned dome field advantage. Playoff football is coming back to St. Louis, Sunday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. A bill that would raise St. Louis City water rates by 18% the first 2 years passed out of committee yesterday. The U.S. House, for the first time, has approved a war powers resolution that would halt the U.S. military action against Iran. And according to a United Nations University report, the environmental footprint of data centers already rivals some of the world's largest countries. 8:40 and time for an update on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we still got some slow traffic out in Wentzville. This traffic reports the service of the Choruses of Harmony STL, southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down onto that eastbound 70 ramp toward Highway A is still bogged down. Eastbound 64, a little slow down. Boone's Crossing to about Annie Guns, and then there are pockets from Ballas all the way in through the Interbelt. North 270, Manchester up to about the Clayton Road overpass, and then briefly at Ladue, it's a little busy. Eastbound 44 is thinned out. Westbound 44 still the right lane blocked. Just before Hampton by that crash, traffic slow midway down back to Kings Highway. Northbound 55, just a brief backup at Highway A. Then you're back on the go from that earlier crash we had near Z. Downtown, Westbound 5570, 255 through Black Lane is heavy. Eastbound 5570, 203 most of the way to 111 slow. And westbound 64 west to 3rd Street still bunched up headed across the Poplar. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Harmony STL presents Now Playing, featuring the ambassadors of Harmony, Visions of Harmony, the Recruits, and Fleet Street performing the hits that shaped generations. Saturday, June 13th, 2 p.m., Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets at harmonystl.com.
More humidity in the forecast for today. We'll have sunshine with some clouds, warm, a high of 87. Right now, partly cloudy skies, 70 downtown at the Arch. Thanks for joining me for Total Information AM on this Thursday morning. I'm Megan Lynch. Energy prices continue to increase costs. That's just one of the findings of the latest snapshot of our regional economy. In studio, St. Louis Federal Reserve economist and Assistant Vice President Charles Gaskin. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
I'm happy to be here.
Let's start with prices. They have gone up. What are you hearing from contacts?
Yeah, prices have risen at a pretty robust pace since our last time we got together. A lot of that's attributed to the rise in energy prices, and that's leading to increases in shipping costs, and that gets passed over into food and a lot of other goods and that we purchase, and then that ultimately can feed into the service side of the economy as well. So it's noted that we had about a 10% increase in the share of businesses that were telling us that they were rising prices to their customers.
That's pretty significant then. So when it comes to consumer spending, has there been any negative impact from that price increase?
We're starting to see a little bit of it, but the reports were really pretty mixed. So when you look at like the tourism and hospitality side, hotel bookings were pretty good here in the St. Louis area, and that was attributed to strong convention business, good concert season ahead of us. Cardinals are playing well, so that also helps out. So, actually from the tourism and hospitality side, things were looking pretty well, but at the same time, definitely some pause in making purchases for middle and low income households. Also an increase in credit card debt. So that's also driving some of that really sustainable spending.
I was looking at what some of the customers of manufacturers are saying, and it looks like some of those customers are starting to hold off on some decisions.
Yeah. So when you look at the manufacturing picture, it's really mixed. I think the information that I've received kind of since we wrote this report has been a little bit better in a couple areas. So let me kind of separate that out. If you look at manufacturing related to home building activity and all the supplies that go into it, that's been weak. Auto manufacturing's been weak. Some of the things that we've heard more recently is related to kind of energy and power generation manufacturing and that equipment manufacturing. That's been relatively strong. And then more recently, also defense production is picking up. So we're also hearing positive reports there. So we describe things as weakening. And I think that's really concentrated in auto and home building related manufacturing, but you are seeing some strength pick up in energy related production and defense production.
I want to get to home building.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about labor. What's the picture for workers and employment right now?
So the labor market is generally pretty stable. If you look at kind of even the hard data that's come in, it's showing the economy's been adding jobs over the last couple of months. And the reports that we see from employers continue to say that employment levels are just generally stable. They're hiring for replacement. Not a big increase in demand for labor, but also no signs of a further cooling, which is, I think, something that we saw last year, which was definitely a slowdown in demand for labor. It seems like it's stable at this point in time.
This time of year, wouldn't we normally expect a boom in both real estate transactions and new construction? What are we seeing, though?
Yeah, so overall, there just seems to be a pause in the housing market at this point in time. I think you can point to some of that being mortgage rates have moved up a little bit higher. There was an anticipation kind of coming into this year that mortgage rates were going to move lower. They've moved higher. On top of that, you also have volatility in equity markets. So home buyers, if they didn't plan ahead of time, they may be looking at their portfolio and saying, okay, it doesn't really look right. What we saw last year was kind of something very similar, which was a kind of a slow start to the home buying season, but it did start to pick up as you got later into the summer, and the fall turned out a little bit better than anticipated. So I think it's still early to, really make a determination on how this home buying season and building season is going to play out.
Finally, let's look at agriculture. Farmers have been facing a lot of challenges, it seems like, in the last year. And I noted a couple of things that were really interesting as far as exports and things like that in the latest report from the St. Louis Fed. What are you hearing from agriculture?
Yeah, so I don't want to say that the agricultural pictures improved dramatically, but it is a little bit better than the last time we met. So we have seen, as a result of the conflict in the Middle East and everything that's been going on, some prices have moved up higher. So, for example, cotton prices have moved up a little bit higher. Corn and soybean prices have moved up a little bit higher. So that does put row crop farmers in a better position than they were just a couple of months ago. The downside of it is that fuel and fertilizer costs have moved up. So fertilizer's probably already been purchased for this year. So our farmers around Missouri are probably not going to be hit with a higher fertilizer cost this year. But obviously, to get all these corn and soybean from the fields out and harvested, that the fuel costs are still going to hit them. So those two things are going to definitely, be in tension with higher output prices, but then also higher inputs on fuel.
We got about 30 seconds. The fertilizer prices. Folks may not make the connection, but that is connected to the petroleum market, correct?
Absolutely.
And what's happening in Iran.
Yeah. So it's tied to both that as well as the conflict in Ukraine. That was the first time we saw those fertilizer prices really start to move up. So it is. And then the way that our row crop farmers purchase, they buy for the season early on so that they're ready to go they kind of match their fertilizer with the seed that they're buying. So.
Got it. Well, Chuck, thank you so much. Always appreciate this look at the economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is Charles Gascon. He is St. Louis Federal Reserve economist and assistant vice president. Coming up, we're going to talk about Missouri veterans' homes. There's a lot of renovation underway in the state right now.
Beat the heat in true Cardinals style on Friday, June 5th, when the Cardinals host the Cincinnati Reds at Busch Stadium. That night, fans will claim a reversible Cardinals bucket hat, presented by Quick Trip. Clean and classic on one side, full ballpark fun on the other. It's made for sunny innings, backyard barbecues, and poolside weekends. All summer long, don't miss out. Get tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Andre Palante. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-922-1284. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284.
Chrysalis Biosciences in Sauget, Illinois is hiring for multiple roles. Join a fast-growing ethanol plant transforming renewable energy with competitive pay, benefits, and growth opportunities. Apply today and grow your career with Chrysalis at chrysalisbio.com.
Join KMOX and Community American Credit Union for a free evening of fun as they celebrate the grand opening their new De Peres branch June 4th from 5 till 7 p.m. It'll be a great time. You could win swag from the big ATM, the Amazing Things machine, meet Cardinals alumni, get a photo with Fred Bird, plus free food, entertainment, and more. And a chance to come on out and say hi to Chris Ranchi from the Chris and Amy Show. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Missouri Veterans Homes getting improvements. Missouri Net's Ashley Bird learns more from State Veterans Commission Director Paul Kirchhoff.
All of our buildings are pretty much 20, 25 years old. And so over time, things wear down, they get worn out. And for many years, we just didn't have the funding to complete some of the necessary renovations. We postponed some of those renovations just because we had deferred maintenance. So we're this past year, thanks to the legislature and the governor, we were able to receive some of that funding to start a lot of those really overdue renovations that were desperately needed. That, and combined with some work by the home assistance leagues, we're able to also do other things that are beneficial to the veterans. St. Louis, we're renovating 2 wings. We're expecting to finish up one of those wings in 3 or 4 months, and looking forward to bringing more veterans into the St. Louis home that has been kind of overdue for the last couple of years. So St. Louis has a lot of veterans that are wanting to come in, and that'll be great to make that open to them.
I've been to most of these homes. We have interviewed veterans throughout the years, and none of these homes were like below code, right? They were fine. They just needed some upgrades.
We have always met the requirements by the VA. They inspect each of our homes annually, so nothing was falling below. But there comes times where you're limping along. You're still able to do what we needed to do, and we were caring for veterans at the highest level, and we will continue to do that. But these are making sure that we're able to care for the veterans and keep the building to code years into the future. So these are ways that we can make the home better for the veterans, a better experience for the veterans and their families.
There's such a wide variety of ages with our veterans now. Are there trends? Are there things that we work hard to keep up with now in serving the veterans today?
You mentioned we have a wide variety of veterans. They're very few, but there are still some World War II veterans, and we have veterans who've served that I served with in Iraq and Afghanistan. So we definitely are run the gamut for age, and yes, we are seeing some trends going forward. I think we are similar to what you would see in the private industry, in that I think a lot of veterans are waiting longer to come into our homes. They're trying to stay home a little bit longer than what they did in the past, and as far as their care, when a lot of veterans in World War II and Korea were used to that more communal living. I think a lot of veterans now are kind of want their own room or that sort of thing. So, yep, we're working hard to stay in tune with what the veterans want. And in some cases, as we mentioned, St. Louis, part of that renovation is to provide single occupancy rooms that were not available before. So that's just part of us trying to keep up with what the veterans want.
I was at one of the homes and met a 100-year-old veteran who had served in the Korean War. So it's just history.
Absolutely. At St. James, there's a 104-year-old veteran that was in the Battle of the Bulge. And,
oh, wow.
There's history there with all of them. But that one kind of brings to light the range that's out there.
That's Missouri Net's Ashley Bird with Missouri Veterans Commission Director Paul Kirchhoff.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Challenging the idea that everyone needs